Sports and BBC Radio Scotland, where we kick off the live action with a game at McDiarmid Park in Perth. It is full live commentary here on Sports Sound and BBC Radio Scotland. St Johnstone against Celtic with Killian Sheridan, Callum Davidson and Thomas Duncan.
Thanks, Richard. The team's just emerged from the tunnel here at McDiarmid Park and lining up, shaking hands, getting ready for action. St Johnstone keen to get back on track after their recent resurgence was halted at Tynecastle last week, though Craig Levein was very positive about the performance. They matched Hearts for long spells and were perhaps unlucky to lose the game. And Celtic, of course, dropping points at home, which is so rare, against Motherwell, followed by that chastening defeat in Rome in a difficult Champions League campaign, desperate to try and get back to winning ways. They've won just one of their last four in all competitions, which is a statistic you don't hear about too often when it comes to Celtic. And they want to stretch their leads and try and put a bit of pressure on Rangers, albeit they'd have played 2 games more by the time this game finishes before we head to Ibrox for Rangers against St Mirren. Celtic with a fantastic record here, having won their last 13 games at McDiarmid Park in all competitions, and St Johnstone got a good point at Celtic Park early in the season, but they've not beaten Celtic in 27 games going back to 2016, so it's tells you the size of the task that's ahead of them this afternoon.
Yeah, definitely. I think the record here has been good. There's been some close games in the past. I think they've almost had that little edge. I remember Griffiths scoring late. I think it was Giacomakis last year was 1-1, and Jay Wright turns his back. Not that I don't forgive him for that. But I think, yeah, it's one of those. I remember last year we played against them. The pitch was terrible, so I thought we'd have a wee go at them, and then we're 2-0 down after 15 minutes. So it's the real balance for St Johnstone today. It'll be interesting to see how this game starts.
Well, interesting you mentioned the pitch there, Callum, because there's a wee touch of dampness or frost still kind of covering it a wee bit, and we'll see how that impacts things. St Johnstone are going to kick us off and get us underway at McDiarmid Park in the first of 3 games on Sunday in the Premiership, as Alistair Johnston challenges with Costello for the ball, and it goes out for a Celtic throw-in on this near side in front of us, and Celtic keen to get on with it. And it's just maybe a sense that compared to last season, the tempo, the speed at which they maybe move the ball, particularly as Callum mentioned in the final third, has maybe dropped. They are 3 points worse off than they were after 14 games last season, having won 13 from 14. They lost just the one at St Mirren at this point under Ange Postecoglou last year. Unbeaten in the league, of course, this season, but with 3 draws. Here's Scales into McGregor on the halfway line. Scales gets it back, and he's going to chip this forward for the left foot, and Lewis Palmer's onto this in the box. He takes that first touch, and it drops for Kyogo in the penalty area, and he's fired it over the crossbar. And that was a warning sign for St Johnstone early on. Just one straight ball over the top.
Yeah, fantastic movement by Palmer. Probably give him a little bit of criticism last week for not going in behind, and there it was a little check run in behind, great touch. Kyogo, normally when you play against Kyogo, you normally put that in the back of the net, but a real positive start from Celtic there. It looks like St Johnstone are 5-4-1. It looks like on the set and have that sort of middle block, but that's the type of pass Celtic will need to get in behind them.
Yeah, Kyogo just dropped and there were bodies in front of him, but took a swipe at it with the right boot, and it flew over the crossbar. But you can't give him too many opportunities like that, even though he's maybe not quite hit the goal scoring form that he did last season so far, but still so dangerous. As Taylor's header forwards, it's eaten up by McGowan. Good composure to control it and shift it, and now St Johnstone go down the right with Brown, and it's fired down the touchline to Jahesimi to chase, and Scales has to go across and make a little tackle out for a throw-in on the far side, but that's much better from St Johnstone, getting themselves up the pitch. And it's a chance to maybe launch this throw-in straight into the Celtic penalty area. Ryan McGowan's going across to take it, and they've got bodies forwards, only 2 back. Kyogo's the only man up for Celtic. Robinson stayed back to mark him. Johnson committed bodies, it's thrown backwards to Carey. He's going to cross it with the left foot. It's low, it hits off the face of Scales and pings away towards St Johnstone defence. It's going to be sent back by Brown over to the left hand side, controlled by Costello. Back to Robinson. He's pressed immediately though by Yang, but he does well to get it to the touchline. Now he's hit it out, and it'll be a Celtic throw in this near side, but wee bit of a glimpse of something for St Johnstone there.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really important when they get into those areas of the pitch. I think back to Graham Carey, he's got great quality, and that's the time they're going to have to make that count today. Whether it's a long throw in the box or when he gets to that here, good quality balls in and ask questions of Carter Vickers and Scales.
Here's Johnson coming the field, and he's lofted one towards O'Reilly, but it's cut out by Robinson, out for a throw in to Celtic in front of the main stand here at McDiarmid Park. Johnson's going to go across to take it. McGregor offers an option. McGregor throws it to Johnson, throws it to McGregor, gets it back at Celtic captain, and then nudges it to Cameron Carter Vickers. And Johnson down the touchline to Yang, who's still trying to prove himself in a Celtic shirt. Infield to Johnston and out to O'Reilly on the right hand side. So St Johnstone have numbers back, and Robinson blocks O'Reilly's cross, and it's behind for a Celtic corner. Goalless, 3.5 minutes played. O'Reilly is going to take Yang's offer in the short option here. Celtic with bodies forwards. O'Reilly waits to take. He's going to swing it in with the left foot into the near post, but it's straight to the St Johnstone player who just hits it out. Throw in on the near side. And you can see the shape, perhaps as expected, from St Johnstone. 5 at the back, trying to close off the spaces. The blue jerseys all in their own half, and it's back to Carter Vickers. On to Scales, who's starting his 18th game on the spin this season for Celtic. Left-footed pass along the deck to Palma. He's on the touchline. He's going to drive infield as he loves to do, and then he puts the ball back on the outside. Cross towards O'Reilly on the edge of the box, but it's cut out. Goes back to Scales. Infield to McGregor. Celtic already squeezing up the pitch and forcing St Johnstone back. Scales out to Taylor. Then it's out to Palma again on the touchline. He's going to try and run at his man. It's back down the touchline. Infield now to McGregor. That's Turnbull, I beg your pardon. Then to Johnston. Right foot over to the right hand side now in Yang. He's 1-on-1, but his touch is heavy, and then it's skipped off Costello and then back off Yang behind for a goal kick. 0-0. 5 minutes played here at McDiarmid Park. Yeah,
Celtic started really good, I think. Positive on the ball. They're not afraid to go and play under St Johnstone's pressure. They're trying to make it tight and compact in Celtic's attacking area, and it's a positive start from them.
Yeah, I think so. I think that you've seen already they've actually tried to play those little penetrative passes in behind. They're trying to force the issue a little bit. St Johnstone, for me, just watching them a little bit, really be able to get enough pressure on the ball on the opponent. It looks like DJ up front is not obviously applying that pressure, allowing Celtic to build maybe too easily.
McGregor pass over halfway to Turnbull, who's in great goal scoring form. Scored in his last 4 in the league, 7 in the league overall this season already. He's not played every game either. And here's Carter Vickers down the wing to Yang, low cross, and it's met by a Celtic player in the box, and it was Matt O'Reilly arriving late, came in on the stretch, got something on it, and it just spun into the arms of Mitov.
Yeah, it was a great pass by Carter Vickers. He's actually played the ball, he's made Yang actually running behind and put him to that dangerous area, and it's that second 6-yard box for Celtic are so dangerous. They've always got Kyogo in that middle 6, that 6 next to the goals, and then there's that second 6 with O'Reilly, Turnbull, they'll arrive in the box.
And Celtic turn over the ball. St Johnstone give it away under pressure. Here's Palma moving up towards the edge of the box. His pass for McGregor. It's cut out, and it's all the way back with Carter Vickers in the centre circle. Johnston, right foot along the deck to Yang on the right hand side. Forced back by Costello. Johnston, McGregor. And it's into the centre circle with Scales, who's going to take a couple of steps forward. Gives it to Turnbull. Then right foot out to Palma on the left. Again, he's got a 1-on-1. Again, though, St Johnstone stand up pretty well. It's blocked by Brown. Breaks for Kucheravi, gives it to Brown, and then a good give and go. Gives Brown some space. He gives it into Jayesime, who's turned and slipped it in behind. And St Johnstone on the front foot. And a bit isolated, and Celtic get the tackle, and it's Taylor, and it's out for a Celtic throw-in, I think. A good neat play from St Johnstone in their own half there.
Yeah, much better from St Johnstone when they win the ball back, that they're keeping it. I think it's very important that any time they do win the ball back that they can keep it for the first few passes, because Celtic, as soon as they get it back, they're just applying the pressure.
Carter Vickers on the ball at his feet. We've played 7 minutes, and it's Celtic in control as you would expect, but no goals. St Johnstone with a couple of moves forward. Turnbull receives, gives it first time to McGregor in the centre circle. Left-footed pass out to Palm on the left wing. He again. He's driving in field and he's away from 2 players. This time he's up to the edge of the box and he's tripped by Phillips, and the free kick is given by the referee, Don Robertson, just outside the D, and that's a dangerous position. Talking about David Turnbull before the match, I think he'll fancy this, but great run by Lewis Palmer.
Yeah, it was a great run. It's actually great play by Celtic. I think it's Turnbull and O'Reilly are just sitting in behind Dan Phillips and Boy Smith. It's making it really difficult to mark, and it's good play. They're in one side, out the other. Palmer drives inside. Actually, it's probably in the end, it's actually quite a good foul by Dan Phillips. I think he's probably going to be 20 yards out with a free hit a goal, so he's had to sort of clip his ankles a little bit. But again, on the flip side, it's a dangerous position for St Johnstone.
Yeah, there's a committee around it at the moment for Celtic. Turnbull, O'Reilly, Palmer fancies it as well. It's fairly central, not much angle to work with.
Has to be Turnbull, doesn't it, really? It has to be Turnbull hitting that one.
I don't know, I think the way Palmer got the ball and lined it up, I think he fancies it. So it's a good foul if he doesn't score it.
Well, we're about to find out, and we're still waiting. And now Don Robertson, the referee's unhappy with something in the St Johnstone wall, and
doesn't look 10 yards from here. If you're going off dimensions of the pitch, it looks about 6 or 7.
Well, the referee's now getting the spray out, and he's making sure they retreat, and then they steal another couple of yards forward as soon as he turns his back. And it's all fun and games, but
it's that cold that the actual spray's not going on the ground.
Yeah, and it's going to be Palmer with the right foot, and he's hit it straight at the wall, and he's got it back though, and he's chipped it into the box. Johnson gets something on it, and then it breaks for Brown on the far side, and he dribbles it out and then lashes it forward with the right foot. SME up against Scales. Scales gets the chest on the ball, and then it's back to Scales, onto Carter Vickers, back to Scales, and Celtic recompose themselves. Well, we gave it the big build-up, and it's so often the case. It's more often not a goal than it is, but straight into the wall from Palmer.
Yeah, poor free kick there. I think you expect better. You expect that to work the goalkeeper, at least get it on target.
He scored a couple of lovely goals this season, one against Kilmarnock at Celtic Park. He is capable from distance, but not on that occasion. Into Turnbull as St Johnstone win the ball, but O'Reilly gets back, sliding in and nips in.
Great press from Celtic there. They lose the ball, and it's that reaction Brendan was talking about, that counter press, the word they use for it. It's just basically try to win the ball back when you lose it. It was really good from Celtic.
Here's Turnbull, and he's found Kyogo in the box, tries to turn on the edge of the 6-yard box, and he's spun away, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. But already, you mentioned, Callum, last week that you find that Celtic maybe weren't getting in behind, but that's a couple of times now they're finding passes through into the St Johnstone box.
Yeah, they've obviously definitely looked at it, and they've obviously realised this, and that's how you're going to hurt teams. And there's probably 4 or 5 times already in probably the first 10 minutes they've played that pass. They're trying to win the ball back higher up. It's one of those, sometimes you have a defeat and a sore defeat, you react to it, and it looks like Celtic have reacted really well.
Mitov with a goal kick goes long up towards Giesime, who gets pressure on Scales, but the Celtic defender helps it up towards the halfway line. Phillips gets the ball, and then there's a tackle goes in, and St Johnstone have it. Costello, Johnson's tackle. Craig Levine on the touchline wanted a free kick for that, but Johnson got in well and wins the ball, and now McGregor has it. He's dribbled up to the centre circle, gives it to Greg Taylor, who's coming infield. Turnbull shimmies away from Phillips and out to McGregor on the left hand side, infield to Taylor. Celtic with good urgency about them, and then Yang, just as I said that, Yang is miscontrolled a bouncing ball admittedly, but straight out the park. He should do better there.
Yeah, a little bit of a nervy start from Yang. That's 2 mistakes he's made. Obviously simple, it was a bouncing pass, but you expect better. The little problem St Johnstone have got is when they lose the ball, DJ's playing against 3, Scales, Carter Vickers and McGregor. McGregor's one, for me, just dictating the play just now. It's always difficult because he's so good at it, but St Johnstone really need to try and stop the ball going through McGregor, because he's the one that's starting all the attacks and getting Scales and Carter Vickers to step in and play.
Kucheravi gives it away, and O'Reilly pounces, and then it's out to the left, and Palma goes down and wins a free kick, and there's going to be a yellow card here for James Brown. Or is it Ryan McGowan actually on the far side? It is McGowan who got back and tripped the Celtic winger.
Yeah, good start from Palma. He's looked positive and looks to be getting at the St Johnstone backline every time he gets it.
Yeah, he's made a bright start to his Celtic career. 5 goals, 5 assists. He's got the most assists along with Matt O'Reilly in the Premiership this season, and he's won a couple of free kicks already just with his ability to carry the ball and take players on. So Celtic with a free kick right out on the far side, just a couple of yards in from the left-hand touchline, and this is going to get whipped into the box. O'Reilly is over, as is Palma, and they're going to deliver it in. It's Palma on the right foot, and then Mitov comes, he doesn't collect it, and then the flag goes up on the far side, on the near side. I think there's maybe offside as the signal from the referee Don Robertson, but that was a little bit of a clanger from Mitov, got away with it. He's usually a reliable goalkeeper, but
I'm not want to criticise him too early. I'm not sure he got fouled there. Somebody just banged into him, I think it was. I think there's a little nudge, offside as well, but a little nudge. Again, a goalkeeper, it's always difficult, that first cross you come for. It's if you can catch it clean, that's you set for the rest of the game. So again, it's the reaction he'll take from that. He'll just claim it was a foul, I think, Killian, and then move on.
Yeah, no, he looked in total control there. I was expecting him to a pretty routine catch for him, so that might make him a little bit nervy on balls coming in.
Johnston's header in his own half, drops from McGregor, who helps it forward, but there's no one there. From a Celtic point of view, Gordon helps it back to Mitov. Kyogo's putting the pressure on, the ball's bobbling about awkwardly for the goalkeeper, does well to stay calm and clear it. O'Reilly wins the header into Turnbull, who's trying to take it down, but he's under pressure from Smith, who's done really well to control it and move forward. He tries to poke it through to Jaisumi, but he's underhit the pass slightly, and it's intercepted, and Celtic will now come forward. Taylor, left-footed pass to the far touchline. Palma, and again he just drops the shoulder and drives infield, and he's dipped it into the box, and O'Reilly controls. He's facing away from goal. Gordon marshals him closely, then back to Palma outside the area. Johnston now middle of the pitch to McGregor, looks up, left-footed pass, and there's miscommunication between O'Reilly and Palma and McGregor passes it between them and out for a throw-in.
Strongest is obviously Celtic's left-hand side. You actually see the bodies actually from up here. There's a lot of bodies on that left-hand side. It's only Yang really standing on the right wing. I think it's Johnson. He's playing centre in the field when they've got the ball, and everything's kind of on the left-hand side where Celtic are trying to hurt them.
Yeah, well, a couple of times they have gone down the right, Yang's miscontrolled it, so it's not given his teammates much encouragement in terms of trying to use both wings.
Maybe try to avoid them now.
Yeah,
nothing worse than that, is there?
I know that feeling all too well, playing football. Carter Vickers for Celtic in the centre circle, right-footed pass, and it's forwards to Taylor, who tried to squeeze it through towards the edge of the box, but St Johnstone intercepts.
O'Reilly and Turnbull are making great runs off the St Johnstone midfielders.
Yeah, it's great position they're standing. They're just standing behind them, making it really hard because Celtic are so in control of the ball. It's really difficult for Phillips and Smith to mark them. They're basically, if they mark them, they're going to become a back seven really. So it's really hard one for the two of them. I think that's when it's Robinson. Yes, it is him. Robinson and McGowan. It's when they can step in and help them, and actually take control of that position, because again, the two wing backs are dealing with the wingers. So can one of the centre halves actually step in and help Dan and Matt Smith go and press a little bit higher.
Carey got a free kick midway through his own half, so Mitov's out to take it for St Johnstone. He goes long. He's looking for Jaisumi. Carter Vickers gets the head on it. It's up in the air. O'Reilly wins the seconds. Turnbull back to McGregor, then helps out to the edge of the box, and Taylor under a wee bit of pressure from Kucheravi, and his pass isn't great for Palma, who slips, and St Johnstone have it on the edge of the box, and it's into Carey. He's on the edge of the D. Can he work space for the shot? Good feet from Carey. He's inside the area. He's got jerseys all around him from Celtic, and then it's cleared by the champions. Phillips recycles for St Johnstone. It's a good little spell for St Johnstone. Robinson's going to try the cross. It's in towards Jaisumi, then it breaks for Kucheravi, gives it to Dealang Jaisumi, and he gets the shot in on the turn, but it's straight at Joe Hart. Really good play from St Johnstone though.
Yeah, great play from St Johnstone there. There's a pure ball by Taylor out to Palma. From that, they've also regained possession. It's a great ball in from Robinson, and you actually probably see why DJ's playing up front, the strength there. He's had a little link with Matt Krichnoff in the centre of the box, and that half-turn deflected shot could have gone anywhere.
Here's Yang down the right. He's got a cross in, but he's smashed it to the other side, but Palma's there to control it wonderfully right on the left-hand corner of the box. He's got Kucheravi in front of him. He's still got the ball, gives it to O'Reilly. Not much space for Celtic to work in. It's back to McGregor. They go right to Johnston, and infield to Turnbull. Tries a little touch around the corner to Kyogo, but it's blocked. Breaks for St Johnstone. Here's Phillips under pressure. Lovely composure from the midfielder, and then it's through for Kucheravi into the centre circle. St Johnstone countering through Brown now on the right hand side. He's striding forward. He's going to put the cross in. It's there for Costello, who gets something on the ball in the box, but it goes backwards, and It breaks now for Celtic on the edge of the box, but St Johnstone with plenty of encouraging signs on the break. Good composure in midfield.
Yeah, I think anytime St Johnstone look dangerous, it's just when they win the ball back and they get that first 2 or 3 passes in, and then they're breaking on Celtic well.
Phillips has looked really good in midfield this season in general for St Johnstone when he's played, but
you can definitely see the game plan St Johnstone. You know, they've got 10 men behind the ball, but once as Killian said, once they win it back, it's Max and Graham Carey are playing sort of in those pockets. The composure from Dan and Matt in the middle of the park to win it back, and then it's that break and that quick counter, and it looks like that's going to how the game's going to pan out. You know, Celtic going to have a lot of the ball, but it's on that counter, that transition, where St Johnstone will hurt Celtic.
St Johnstone free kick from the centre circle, going long towards the left corner of the box, but there's a slip from Gordon, headed, but it's not convincing, and Kucheravi helps it back in, but it's over. Jayasimi and Hart collects, and Celtic can start again from the back. 18.5 minutes played. It's goalless between St Johnstone and Celtic. Much made of Celtic compared to last season. As I mentioned, 3 points worse off. They scored fewer goals, but they have been better defensively. They conceded fewer. Here comes Yang, infield to Johnston. He's giving it back on the overlap to Yang, who's on the byline, cuts it back, and it breaks for David Turnbull. It's in!
Offside.
And then the flag is up on the near side. Offside, and St Johnstone get a reprieve. Well, we've been critical of Yang with his couple of touches early on, but that was much better in terms of the play. Cut back to Turnbull, put it in, but the flag's up. But we'll obviously have a check. We'll see if the goal stands or not.
Yeah, Luke Miles offside when he did it, but I said better play. Yeah, better play from Yang on the right hand side there. That little link with Johnson, you know, something they probably look for. That little link play between the fullback and the winger. But again, a good play from Celtic. Again, that dangerous ball into the second 6-yard box.
Yeah, and I think the verdict is that was well offside. So we're still a little bit of a hold up here. And Don Robertson has still got his hand in the air, and he's happy for play to go on. So goal won't stand. The flag did go up instantly from the near side linesman, so Turnbull's goal won't stand. Celtic not ideal in their own half from their point of view. O'Reilly puts Johnson under pressure, and then Carey gets good pressure but blocks Johnston's pass. It's out for a throw in. Johnston throws it to McGregor, back to Carter Vickers, who's just outside the penalty area on the right hand side, gives it back to Joe Hart. McGregor's dropped all the way into his own box, a couple of touches, and then fizzes the left foot pass out for Taylor, who's just about to cross the halfway line. Good game so far, both teams showing good touches, good attacks, but no breakthrough. Yang, right hand side.
Yeah, I think both teams are both playing their game plan as they would have hoped for. St Johnstone are kind of staying in it, not conceding early, and then, as we said, they're getting their breaks on the counter when they do get those first few passes in. And Celtic, their movement up front has been very good so far. Sharp, bright, had a few chances that maybe they could have scored from, but I think all in all both teams probably happy with how they've both started.
Yeah, Callum mentioned the first 15-20 minutes. We've played 21, and it's job done so far for St Johnstone in terms of that first quarter of the game. They've given up a couple of chances, but crucially not been punished. But it's been solid overall. Thrown back to Liam Gordon, right foot, back to the goalkeeper Mitov. He's going to go long. Skiogo bears down on him. Kucheravi goes in with Taylor, who wins the header, then drops from McGregor, who hooks it back up the pitch. Header to the feet of Phillips for St Johnstone. Then Smith, McGowan. And St Johnstone have very much looked to play when they do get the ball. They're not just punting it up and looking to hit it long, but then that's given away to O'Reilly, and then he tries to slip in Palma, and it was just in front of the Celtic winger.
Don't mind that as a manager. You know, it's that positive pass he's trying to play. He's trying to play a little bit of pace, because if that pass goes, Palma's then 1-on-1. You know, so it's good play from Celtic. They're trying to press as well, quite high up the pitch, and not let St Johnstone get on the ball. Phillips and Smith are actually, it's good to see when you see two midfielders combine. I think they're obviously good to see the stats, because the two of them are trying to pop a couple of passes, and it allows Graham Carey and Max to get higher up the pitch.
Mitov goes long. Start of a very busy festive period for both these clubs. Here's St Johnstone through Carey midway through the Celtic half. He's passed it forward to Costello, and then Celtic are cover, and they're awarded the throw-in. And Costello is furious because he reckons that was St Johnstone ball all day long. And Celtic get on with it. Celtic, this is the first of 8 games they have before the winter break in a month's time. St Johnstone the same, and they've got a run of away games coming up, 4 of them on the roads in the run up to Christmas and over the new year. Really tough run for them. Here's Johnston for Celtic, and he's chipped into Kyogo, controls it on the chest in the box, it bounces, McGowan gets a clearance in, and St Johnstone can again come up the pitch at a good pass from into the feet of Phillips, who eventually loses out just in and around the centre circle. St Johnstone's intent is clear, try and get themselves a couple of passes, get themselves up the pitch and into dangerous areas. Celtic win the ball back this time. O'Reilly, left foot to Johnston, and he's chipped in to the box for Turnbull, controls it, takes a shot, and it's taken a deflection, I think, behind. No, it's a goal kick. Wonderful control from David Turnbull outside of the boot, got the shot in, and it's spun wide of the post.
That's 3 players there who have made runs in behind for Celtic. They've got a lot of good possession, middle third. I think it was Kyogo made the first one, Palmer, and then Turnbull makes that last one. Again, it's very hard to defend against if you get the timing right, and it's a good run, and unlucky with his chance.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kyogo, a good touch in the box as well moments ago. Mitov long with the goal kick. Carey wins the header, but Carter Vickers steps in to make sure it doesn't reach Jayesime, and then Taylor up to Turnbull, controls away from Smith, and then he's put it out to the left, and Palmer again, he's got a run at Brown, gives it back to the edge of the box. So here's David Turnbull, he's so dangerous from here, dummies, then takes a left-footed shot on, and Mitov has to push it wide. It may have been going past the post anyway, but the goalkeeper couldn't take the risk. Behind for a Celtic corner, still goalless.
Yeah, great save. I think it's probably a save he should make. It's on his side. Turnbull done brilliant to get this shot off.
Yeah, and it's exactly where he scores so many of his goals, right on the edge of the penalty area. David Turnbull got a brilliant shot on him. Mitov did his job. The corner comes in from Palma, it's right on top of the goalkeeper in the 6-yard box, who claims it easily. Now he's furious because he's wanting a quick counter here, the goalkeeper, and he's urging his teammates to get up. He only had Jayesime to hit really, and decides he's going to keep it, and Celtic get back in their shape.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he's getting so angry, because Jayesime had made the run for him. So.
It's a typical striker's answer, that one, wasn't it? I don't think he made it quick enough.
Goalkeepers just always furious, and Mitov eventually goes long, but Celtic deal with it comfortably enough, and Johnston has given it out to Yang. What can he do here up against Costello? Puts a step over in, comes in field, tries to thread it through for O'Reilly, it deflects back for him, challenge goes in from Smith, and it's again fallen for Phillips. Such a really neat footballer, just turn away and pass, gets it to Carey, plays it up the left hand side. Carter Vickers goes in with a challenge on Kucherhevi, and it's a free kick to St Johnstone just inside the Celtic half. It's a strong challenge, but it was maybe in from behind.
I thought it was a good challenge actually. I thought they got away with one as a defender. Quite like seeing that. I thought it was from the side, but again, it's one of those referee gives it. Not only good thing is it's middle of the pitch, so it's not too critical if it's right or wrong.
Yeah, Phillips has been very good on the ball, very calm when he's been under pressure, getting it out to either the fullback or the free player. And I'd agree with Callum there as well. It looks like a fair tackle from Vickers.
Yeah, Phillips, I have to say, is a player that's impressed me when I've watched him. Trinidad and Tobago international. So composed as Carey chips this free kick, and he's looking for Costello, who's controlled it right on the edge of the box, but it runs away from him, and then Yang gets back. He's tried to clear it, but he's fallen over in the process. Back with Costello in from the touchline, right footed pass to Phillips, controls it, it's about 25 yards out, faces away from goal, back to Robinson, thinks about the cross, then puts it along the ground to the left touchline where Carey collects. He's one-on-one, and he's loses out to Yang, who did well there, and he tries to play it up to Kyogo, and it's intercepted, and then it goes back up the other end, and Scales just nips in ahead of Gordon, and then it gives it to Palma, who drives in field from his own half. He's gone long looking for Kyogo, who's made the run, but it was never reaching him. Robinson picks it off with ease, drops for Costello, who smashes it high into the air, and it's Jayesime and Carter Vickers. Carter Vickers wins it, as he so often does. Drops for Phillips though, right foot to Kucherhevi, back to Smith. On the way back to McGowan, who steps onto the game really well. He's striding forward. McGowan up towards the right hand side. He's laid it off for Brown to cross in towards Jessamy, who is tussling with Carter Vickers, and he's won a corner. Got the ball first, nicked it off the defender.
Yeah, good play from St Johnstone there. A little bit composure again. We talked to Ryan McGowan at the start of the programme. On that side, he's great at stepping in. Plays a great pass to James Brown, who puts the ball right across the face, and actually good defending by Carter Vickers in the end.
Yeah, there was a minute ago there, Robinson, I think he could have put the ball into the box a little bit earlier. I don't think St Johnstone can be passing up chances to get the ball in the box, especially if there's 4 or 5 bodies of them in there.
Interesting corner this, because just about everyone in a blue shirt, in fact everyone who's in the box is in the 6-yard box for a blue shirt, and they're going to send it right in there on top of the goalkeeper, and Gordon gets a header on it. He's glanced it well over and he thumps the turf in frustration, because that was a little half chance. It wasn't the easiest one, but a chance nonetheless for Liam Gordon. As it is, it remains St Johnstone 0, Celtic 0. They've played 28.5 minutes at McDiarmid Park. Celtic did have the ball in the net through David Turnbull, but it was ruled out for offside in the build-up against Yang. Fairly obvious offside, we've been told, so nothing too controversial about that. And then Greg Taylor's taking his eye off the ball as Celtic look to play out, and he's let it run straight out for a throw-in. St Johnstone with a good spell here.
Yeah, they've just rattled them a little bit, I think they just look under a little bit of pressure. Again, that's all down to probably St Johnstone rather than Celtic. What they've done, St Johnstone have just managed to take hold of the ball a little bit, take control, and try and force Celtic into mistakes.
Yeah, they look at it, St Johnstone, confident. First defeat in 4 last week against Hearts, and they played really well, losing to that Shanklin goal from Boyce's shot. Here comes a throw into the box. Gordon's flicked it on towards Smith, who's controlled it on the thigh. He's not got as much space, but he's fired it across goal, and Costello was there at the back post, but it was just too far in front of him, and it runs away for a goal kick. Great play from St Johnstone again. Yeah, great play there. Just again, throw in the box. Liam Gordon goes and tacks it. Smith picks it up and drives forward. He fizzes it right across, probably 3 yards from goal. No takers for St Johnstone. Will be the only disappointing thing with that, because it's a tap-in if somebody's standing there. And again, St Johnstone win it as Celtic look to play out. Phillips has fizzed it into Jayesamy in the box. He's tried to flick it to Smith, but Scales read it, intercepts. Gordon sends it back. St Johnstone have a player down. Now Palma's won it as it's given away, and then Brown gets back and takes it off his toes, and the referee's going to stop the game because St Johnstone have a player down on the far side. Can't quite see who it is from here. He's facing the turf, and
I think it's Graham Carey, is it?
Yeah, it's Graham. I think just a challenge there. I think they just collided.
Yeah, and there's a lot of frustration in McDiarmid Park at the stoppage. I didn't quite see the incident myself, so it looks like he's up onto his knees, so looks like he'll be okay. But the St Johnstone physios are on, and
a bit slow. He's already up on his feet.
No urgency.
Need to work on their pace. Need to work on their pace getting on that pitch.
Yeah, they're on now and making sure he's okay. But I wonder that this little pause might be good for Celtic, because it was St Johnstone who were asking all the questions in the last 3 or 4 minutes, and Celtic giving the ball away. Taylor one controlled out the park, giving away in the middle of the pitch, and St Johnstone really cranking up the pressure. Yeah,
St Johnstone they've managed to get the ball in the box a bit more often. Jayesamy is in there, he's causing trouble. He was unlucky there with a little flick inside the box. Smith before that, where I thought he was unlucky, where the ball just, when it got headed back to him, maybe he could have ran on and hit it first time, but he's ended up flashing it across the goal. Yeah, definitely great last 5 or 10 minutes for St Johnstone compared to the first 10-15 that they started.
Graham Carey's up on his feet, and he's over on the far side getting a few rounds of applause from the St Johnstone players, and it's underway again. Back to Mitov, Saints goalkeeper, goes long, hooked round the corner by McGregor, but it's taken by McGowan. It goes back to his goalkeeper, who goes long. It's the first of 2 commentaries on Sports Sound this afternoon. We'll be at Ibrox at 3 o'clock for Rangers against St Mirren. Updates from Easter Road, Hibs Aberdeen as Celtic come forward, but again Yang, poor touch on his chest, and it runs away, and he's not been convincing, and then Robinson's just chipped that straight out of the park for St Johnstone in front of the Celtic boss Brendan Rodgers, who won't be too pleased with what he's seen from Yang overall so far.
That frustration though, Palmer's cut inside, he's trying to flick the ball with the outside his foot. Just pass it properly, and give Yang a chance.
And then Yang is flagged offside with a switch of play. Brendan Rodgers shakes his head down in front of us. It takes a look at his bench, his coaching staff. We can presume we can't see them sitting in there, but yeah, it's...
Callum's right there. It looks bad on Yang, but it wasn't the best pass out to him. It was a bit unlucky there.
I think when you're like that, you know, Killian, you want somebody to help you out a little bit. He's not, obviously, he's had a few bad touches. You know, help him out, give him some passes that he can run on to. You know, rather than these difficult passes he's having to deal with.
O'Reilly up towards Kyogo, gets a little nudge from McGowan, who wins the header. Kyogo rubs his head. Robinson forward with the left foot down the left touchline. Again, it's scrappy in midfield, and Matt Smith comes away with it. He's tried to just jink away from Johnston, which he did, but the ball ran away from him. Another one who's looked good when I've watched him, Matt Smith.
Yeah, I was actually down at Enquidons earlier in the year where he was, and you know, quite impressed with his movement. You know, I think again for him it's playing games. You know, he looks a very industrious player, a lot of energy. And what I've watched him in the last probably 2 or 3 games is he's adding that little layer to his game. You know, that sort of final pass, and you've seen the cross. Hearts, he had the same thing, got in some really good positions. You know, and he's sort of grown layers to his game. Yeah,
Welsh international, 19 caps. He's got good experience. Was in World Cup and Euro squads. Didn't play, but he's a player with plenty of talent, and showed it last week as well at Tynecastle. And he's had a good few flashes here, as has Phillips in the St Johnstone midfield. It's goalless, 34 minutes played. Celtic started pretty strongly, had a couple of chances, Turnbull had the ball in the net, but St Johnstone have looked good on the counter, and they've had the better of the last maybe 7-8 minutes, and it's long, and they've won the ball. Jaisimi chases, but Scales is across to nudge it out for a throw-in, but St Johnstone will welcome this, because McGowan will get himself forward and fling this into the box and try and put the Celtic defence under pressure.
St Johnstone's been a lot better. I think it's always a dangerous time when you play against like the Rangers and Celtic. When you're actually getting more involved in the game becomes a little bit more open, and it's really important they switch on the counter-attack, you know, and make sure they don't switch off and don't allow any sort of quick play by Celtic to get up the pitch.
Scales won the header when the throw-in came in. St Johnstone have it midway through the Celtic half, but it's put out the pitch by Smith, and Taylor throws in quickly to Scales, controls with the right foot, passes with the left to Carter Vickers, who's on the penalty spot, and Celtic will attempt to try and move their way up the pitch. McGregor so often the general in the middle of the pitch, left footed pass to Johnston, who's come all the way into the midfield position, gives it to McGregor again. Johnson recollects it, and he's going forward towards the edge of the box, gives it to Turnbull, tries to give the return pass, but Johnston was blocked, and he's looking at the referee, Don Robertson, as if to say, I was blocked, that was a foul. The referee was completely unmoved, and now St Johnstone look to launch the counter, but lose the ball. McGregor gets in there ahead of Jaisimi. Not sure if that was a block or not, Killian.
From here it looked as if possibly was a foul, because it looked like it was a good attacking run from him. He went for the 1-2, and then I don't know, next thing I saw him on the ground.
Yeah, Turnbull was anticipating the overlapping run, which never came. Here's McGregor.
I think you can see Celtic are starting to try and push up again. Carter Vickers and Scales are really pushing up.
Yeah, O'Reilly made a run beyond and got a cross in, which was blocked by Robinson, so Celtic corner. And trying to reassert themselves with 9 minutes plus whatever is added to go until half time. Celtic obviously looking to get back to winning ways. Disappointing week for them. Home to Motherwell, conceding late, and then also conceding a couple of late goals to Ciro Immobile. Here's the corner in, and it falls for Scales, who was at 12 yards out or so on the volley, scoops it over.
Yeah, it's a poor corner actually. It's deflected, I think, of one of the St Johnstone players. Again, St Johnstone actually been brave. They're actually leaving one up front. For me, I'm obviously I study corners, and I'm a bit like stupid that way, but what it does, it creates more space, you know, for the attacking team. So it's really important. St Johnstone only got a front zone man, you know, so that middle area is really important. They defend the box really well, but again, that's a really poor balling by Palmer.
Yeah, Celtic not known for their set piece prowess, it has to be said. More the passing, and
there's maybe something St Johnstone have looked at and they thought, right, well, tell you what, they don't score many from set plays, so let's leave one up the pitch and ask a few more questions. So when we do win at the back, we might be able to get up the pitch, because that is the benefit of leaving a striker back up the pitch.
Mitov goes long, Costello loses out, and here's O'Reilly. And he's given it to Kyogo's dropped in. He's up towards the edge of the penalty area, he's dribbling away, he's checked back, he goes on the left foot, shot blocked, it's come off Liam Gordon, then Kyogo goes down. And nothing given for the referee on the edge of the box. And then St Johnstone are going to counter with Kucheravi in the centre circle. He's passed it out towards the right hand side, and Jaesimi, right hand corner of the box, he's flicked it in the park. Kucheravi then onto the outside, and it's a poor touch by Brown, and it allowed Palma to come back in and make the challenge out for a throw in. And Don Robertson has gone back to Kyogo. He's having a word with him.
Yeah, I think he was trying to go down early. I think it's very similar to, I think it was the decision at Hearts. I think his one knows he's kind of fallen over quite quickly. Again, I think Liam Gordon just reacting to it, doesn't really need to react to it, just part of the game, and I think the referee's just trying to calm them both down. Yeah,
that was that Kenneth Vargas one last week, which right up there, one of the best dives I've seen, I have to say. But Liam Gordon was absolutely furious at the time. He had to be restrained by his teammates, and he took umbrage at that one.
Yeah, I think Kyogo as well. I think he was going to go down, and then it's almost like he's changed his mind halfway through when he realised he wasn't going to get the contact and tried to stay up.
There's nobody near him, basically.
Yeah, he kind of ended up kind of just flopping to the deck half-heartedly. So St Johnstone throw in to the feet of Phillips. Right hand side, he's facing away from the goal, but he's turned really well, and he's trying to work the space for the cross, and he's managed it, but it's gone into the side netting via Greg Taylor. So it's going to be a corner kick to St Johnstone.
Great strength from Dan. I've obviously worked with Dan, and he's so powerful, it's incredible. He doesn't do any weights or anything like that. He's just so powerful, and once he gets that sort of low centre of gravity, very hard to mark.
Yeah, he's been very good again here in this first half. 39 played. St Johnstone corner. St Johnstone 0, Celtic 0. Delivery comes in right into the 6-yard box. It's bobbling about, and then it's in. It's kind of be forced in and into the back of the net. St Johnstone have scored, and Dialang Jaesimi is claiming it. He's claiming he's got his first St Johnstone goal. In the end, it doesn't matter, because Saints lead Celtic by a goal to 0.
Fantastic ball in from Graham Carey there. I think he's caused the problems with his ball. Lots of bodies round it. Celtic are complaining about something. It will go probably to VAR. I think Hart will claim it's a wee foul, a wee push on them. But again, this is where we'll wait for a couple of minutes, and we'll see if it's a goal to St Johnstone or not.
Well, you have to say they've been brilliant, Killian, in this first half, and we'll wait and see if they do get their rewards here. But certainly the decision at the moment is the goal.
Yeah, I think that's their game plan. It was get it up into the final third, maybe get scraps off throw-ins, win a corner or something like that. They get the corner. It's a great delivery from Graham Carey. Just looking at the replay now, it doesn't look like there was much foul there.
No, I think it's just momentum of bodies as Joe Hart's trying to jump. I think the momentum, I don't think it's one specific player.
Goal given, and St Johnstone lead the champions at McDiarmid Park. Well, what a first half it's been for Craig Levein and Saints.
You could see from their corner setup that was their plan. Just put it in, cause havoc, and basically get a scrappy goal like that.
Yeah, it's great sort of play from St Johnstone, or a mindset to do that. They've obviously looked at it, they've studied it closely. Can they put Joe Hart under pressure? And they've got the reward for it in this first half.
McGregor, Celtic look to hit back instantly with 4 minutes to go until the break, but Brown reads a pass to Palma, it's intercepted, and Brown's going to stride up towards halfway, gives it infield to Jaesimi, turns, tries to lay it back out to Brown on the right hand touchline, but Celtic make the interception. Scales has it. You
can see why he's played DJ up front, and what biggest strength is actually holding on to the ball, which is so important today. Hadn't really ran in behind at all. He's just basically trying to link the play and allowed others to get up.
Johnston, he's come right into the middle of the pitch midway through the Saints half. McGregor's going to chip it. Kyogo just thought about making the run, and then he stopped, and then it's gone straight through to Mitov, and there's huge frustration behind both goals where the Celtic fans are housed. And St Johnstone meanwhile are celebrating, taking the leads.
Yeah, it looked like a great run initially from Kyogo, and then it just stopped on it.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's what Callum McGregor was saying to him. Kind of gestured that you made the run, so I made the pass. Just a symptom of Celtic's frustration, really. Jaesimi wins the header, but he's offside. Free kick Celtic, they go short. Carter Vickers. Well, I mentioned Celtic have won the last 13 visits to McDiarmid. 27 unbeaten against St Johnstone. That's under threat now. Here's McGregor, wide to Yang on the right hand side of the box. Cross comes in, Robinson makes the block, Costello clears, Carter Vickers heads it to the feet of Johnson, takes a touch and fires it to Scales, who controls on the chest, touches it out of the centre circle, left foot to Johnston, and again is playing almost as a centre midfielder, gives it to McGregor, back to Scales. St Johnstone opening up, no gaps at the moment. Johnston, McGregor, left foot out to Palma on the left touchline. Taylor's going to wrap round, infield to McGregor, left corner of the box. Palma, Johnston, again the blue wall holds firm, and then Palma's going to go for distance. I'm not sure what he was trying there. It dipped, it's taken a deflection actually, and it's gone behind for a corner.
Greg Taylor's made about 5 or 6 runs already around Palma. You know, again, obviously playing full back myself, I kept doing that, I get frustrated.
Yeah,
Not once he's got the ball.
Yeah, Palma does like to drive in field, and he's going to take the corner here. And it's into the edge of the 6-yard box. It falls for Scales. It was missed by St Johnstone. The back stick, and it almost fell for Scales.
That's the middle area I was talking about. It's a better ball in. You know, there's gaps there to be attacked, and it's unlucky they didn't get on the end of that one.
It's behind for another Celtic corner on the other side, the far side this time. The league leaders desperate to try and get themselves level before the break. We've played nearly 44 minutes. Corner comes in for Celtic, won by Carey at the near post, out to the far side. It's another header, only as far as Callum McGregor, who's taken out to the left touchline, passes it to Palma. Palma, step over, good challenge from Kucheravi, and then McGregor is under pressure from Kucheravi as well and gives it away. Phillips collects and now gives it to Jaesimi, who's put the long left-footed pass for Costello, who's made the big run from the back. He's going to collect it on the left-hand side. He's got Carey inside him, finds him. Carey looking for options, he goes infield to Phillips, but 30 yards out, gives it into Jaesimi in the box, takes a couple of touches. Jaesimi, he's trying to go round Celtic, Scales intercepts his cross, breaks from McGregor, then Yang on the edge of the D, and he's under pressure, gives it away, and he's regathered it as it was a slip from Brown, and it's gone to Palma, who's trying to counter, but he's found his path blocked by Smith, who worked hard to get back. Then to O'Reilly, who tries the first time pass, it's Yang maybe actually tries the first time pass down the left touchline, but Taylor was never reaching that, and it's out for a throw-in. And Celtic frustrated as we hit 45 minutes in Perth. St Johnstone 1, Celtic 0.
Yeah, great play from Jaesimi there. Great hold-up play, wins it, and then plays a great ball with his left foot.
3 minutes
to put Costello in. Jaesimi, he's had a great game up until his goal, and then the goal I think has just given him that extra bit of confidence where his touch has got better. He's playing passes with his left like that cross field.
3 minutes added in this first half. Celtic probing, it's Yang, he's going to run at Costello, he gets a right footed cross in, Gordon was there, spoons it up in the air back to Yang, who's on the touchline. He's going to just let this run out for a throw into Celtic.
If I'm Yang, I'm going to have to go back to basics. You know, he's good going down the line. You know, maybe he's trying too hard and trying to do too much. Just do what he's good at. You know, sometimes when you're suffering that little wee bit of confidence.
And then the flag goes up for offside against him. That just sums up his first half, and I wonder, Callum, if maybe a bit harsh on him, but we might not see him emerge for the second.
No, he's not been great. You know, I think it's hard when you're a player and you're going through that little spell. Obviously Celtic play a certain way. Yang obviously plays that way. He looks like he's a very direct winger. You know, a little bit like the old-fashioned James Forrest used to just take it and knock it by you. You know, so maybe sometimes if he gets it wide, just go at the opponent, just go and attack him, because again he's got good pace, he's got good energy. You know, and simplify his game.
Yeah, well, Forrest is on the bench. He scored more goals against St Johnstone in his career than any other club. So it might be going through the minds of Brendan Rodgers, who's talking with John Kennedy on the touchline in front of us at the moment. Celtic with a minute and a half left to try and find an equaliser before the break. Here's Taylor down the line to Yang in the St Johnstone half, up towards the edge of the area, but St Johnstone again get tackles in, breaks for Taylor, back to McGregor. Johnston is bang in the middle of the pitch, he's asking for an option, gives it to Kyogo, who drops, gives it back to Johnston first time, who gives it again to Kyogo, who's way outside the penalty area with the ball now, gives it to the feet of O'Reilly, then pass to the left, and Yang was off balance, but he has managed to control it well, gives it back to O'Reilly, he's looking for the run, he's 25 yards out, infield to McGregor, again Phillips is closely pursuing him, and he takes a couple of touches and moves out to Yang, and is then moved around the corner to O'Reilly, who's collected right on the byline, and he's come out the box back to Yang. Again, took his eye off the ball a bit, Yang, but he's recovered, giving it to McGregor, and then his touch is straight into traffic, and Jessamine gets a foot in, and now it's Carey up towards the halfway line, and Kucheravi Smith, I beg your pardon, out on the far side for St Johnstone, and they're just going to say, let's just recompose ourselves as they go back to their defenders. Gordon and Robinson, left hand side, Costello, give and go, and Johnston's showing good strength to try and keep him out, good pace as well, and Johnston will get there first to knock it back to Joe Hart in his own 6-yard box. Pass to Taylor, and there's the half-time whistle, and Celtic are trailing. Well, just one win in their last 4, and they started brightly enough, but St Johnstone have been outstanding in this first half. Their game plan has worked a treat, and the crucial moment came 5 minutes before the break. A corner, they piled the 6-yard box, and it caused havoc. Hart couldn't claim it, and there was havoc in and around the goal line, and Dialang Jayesime emerged celebrating, forcing it over the line to give St Johnstone the lead, his first St Johnstone goal. And you have to say it's probably what St Johnstone deserved from that first half. Celtic had a goal chalked off. Turnbull, Yang was offside in the build-up. There have been a couple other opportunities. O'Reilly sliding in, Kyogo fired over in the opening few minutes, but St Johnstone have done their job so far. At half-time at McDiarmid Park, it's St Johnstone 1, Celtic 0.
On digital radio,
FM,
online at BBC Sports Scotland,
your smart speaker,
and BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
Scottish football lives here.
It has been an excellent first 45 minutes for St Johnstone. They lead thanks to Dialang Jayesime's first goal for the club. St Johnstone 1, Celtic 0. Remember, 3 o'clock kickoffs at Easter Road, Hibernian against Aberdeen. We'll have regular updates from that one, and we'll have full live commentary from Ibrox, where it is Rangers against St Mirren. You can see highlights of these 3 matches, plus the 2 from yesterday on Sportscene tonight, 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel. And in the week ahead, there's live football. Tuesday night, Scotland against England in the Women's Nations League, and the rearranged Premiership encounter between Ross County and Motherwell. And 4 more Premiership matches on Wednesday. Hearts against Rangers, Celtic Hibernian, Aberdeen Kilmarnock, and St Johnstone St Mirren. So a very busy midweek. Midweek highlights, Wednesday night, 10:40 on the BBC Scotland channel. And you can round the week off by, well, watching the beginning of next weekend's action. Championship live, BBC Scotland channel on Friday night. What a game that could be. Wraith Rovers against Partick Thistle. Those two both in action yesterday, both winning. And Wraith Rovers, with the opportunity, actually, if they can win that, to go top of the table. Well, I guess, depending what happens midweek. But a lot to look forward to, and certainly plenty to come this afternoon. We can reflect now on the first 45 at McDiarmid Park, and Craig Levein at Callum is going to be absolutely delighted with his team, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. It just shows that he's got that little bit of experience. You know, he set his team up 5-4-1. People could say it's a negative setup when you come against Celtic and Rangers and teams like that, but I think they've played it really well. They've denied the space for Celtic. Celtic have tried to play balls in behind and try and play those little through balls, but again, once they've won it back, this composure they've shown, I think probably the last 20 minutes of the first half, I think obviously St Johnstone have sort of got stronger as the game's got on. They've had a wee bit more belief, they've got into areas. Celtic have then made a few mistakes in possession, which it's not normally like them, and St Johnstone managed to capitalise on it.
Is it another example, Killian, of what we were chatting about beforehand, that Celtic just haven't quite hit the heights on a consistent enough basis so far this season?
Yeah, I think the first 10-15 minutes Celtic started really well, and then probably fair play to St Johnstone, they've stuck to their game plan, they've applied it well. And then I think after, once they realised and believed in it, they probably looked a bit more confident in their play. They were keeping it a bit better once they won it back. But yeah, Celtic they dropped it for about 20-25 minutes there, when let St Johnstone into it, let St Johnstone get a little bit of confidence. And once St Johnstone got a few attacks and stuff, they started to, you could see they believed that they could they could score and they could hurt Celtic. Celtic, they're trying. They are making good runs. Turnbull, O'Reilly are making good runs into the box. Kyogo looks sharp at times, but there's just that last little bit that Celtic seem to be lacking.
Yeah, you touched on Turnbull. He had the goal disallowed correctly. It was an excellent shot, actually, and a very good save by Mitov, wasn't it, high at the post to concede the corner. But that seemed like a turning point, and you actually mentioned that in the commentary, Killian. I think you talked about the belief just beginning to grow, it seemed, within those St Johnstone players. And I guess that's going to be hugely important in a match like this, where you go in as underdog, let's be honest, but if you can begin to get a foothold in the game and you can see perhaps you're winning your individual battles, then you begin to just take a step forward.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, again, it's credit to St Johnstone, because the first 10-15 minutes it looked like it was going to be a tough day for them. Celtic started really good, positive. They looked sharp up front, everyone making good runs, running all over the place in the attack. And that can be demoralising for a player when you're playing against the bigger teams. You're always looking at that first 15 to 20 minutes about just kind of not conceding and losing the game early. And the way Celtic started, I really didn't see St Johnstone coming in 1-0 up at half time.
It is 1-0. I've got to say, the goal was not exactly a thing of beauty. The Graham Carey corner from the right swung in. It's a bit of a scramble there. Certainly Matt O'Reilly makes a mess of the initial clearance, and then as the ball bounces down towards the goal, Jayasimi, he's on the deck. O'Reilly, it looks almost as if O'Reilly tries to clear it again, and he may be that he kicks the ball off Jayasimi, or indeed the striker as he's lying on the ground. Perhaps he just gets the first kind of proactive touch. It's very difficult to tell, but it's gone in from about a foot off the goal line, just actually watching it again. I know Joe Hart was moaning at one stage. VAR had a quick look. There's absolutely no foul on the goalkeeper. There's nothing that would have seen that goal disallowed. Ryan McGowan very nearly getting it scrambled in as well, but it's gone in. It just shows, Callum, it really doesn't matter, does it, what the how the goal goes in?
Don't tell me goals are not a thing of beauty. Any type of goals are a thing of beauty, especially when they're very few and far between. So yeah, I think it's a great so if you go by St Johnstone, because they've obviously looked at it, they've looked at Celtic at set plays. They thought, right, they're not the biggest team, how can we put Joe Hart under pressure? I think with Graham Carey in the team, you've got somebody who's got an unbelievable left foot, and when he's on his day, that ball goes into that same area every time, and it was a great ball in, and they just caused havoc, and they put him under pressure. They put O'Reilly under pressure, and the ball ends up in the back of the net. So yeah, I don't think you'll be saying to St Johnstone fans it wasn't a goal of beauty, but I don't think they'll really care at this point.
I've got to say, I've seen very little of Jayasimi. What have you made of what you've seen of him so far?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a brave decision. With Craig putting him in, he's obviously looked at him. What I've seen in the game is, with St Johnstone, he wants somebody to hold the ball up. Nicky Clark's probably their player that does that. He's the one that links the game. He can get away from a defender, play a pass. I think Killian was talking about a switch of play later on, after he scored the goal, and I think he's that type of player. He will hold it up. I don't think he's going to run in behind. I don't think he's going to press all day, but I think he's got the qualities. Now if St Johnstone are kind of leaving him up the pitch just to do what he wants, really, and then when they get the ball into him, he's actually helped St Johnstone get higher up the pitch, and especially the last 20 minutes when better service has gone in, he's proven a handful.
And that kind of player, I guess, Killian, can be so important. Kind of, you look for your strikers to be goal scorers, but quite often it's the work that the striker puts in almost off the ball at times that perhaps allows other players in the team the opportunities.
Yeah, no, it's massive, especially when you're set up front on your own. And in a game like this, you're going to do a lot of defensive work, a lot of running, not needless, but like you're not going to get any appreciation for it. It might be a case that you're not even getting near the ball. You're just kind of showing defenders down one side. And then you're kind of trying to be ready for any balls that break up. Just hold on to it. Like we're saying, get those first few passes in afterwards. And then I think St Johnstone's wing backs have been important for him as well. They've got up the park and given some balls into the box for him. And then it's just about him kind of sometimes making a nuisance of himself in the box, causing a bit of havoc.
Just using the strength a little bit, isn't it? Just using the strength and maybe just backing into Carter Vickers and Scales and not giving them that free clearance. I think Matt Smith gets the chance from that thing Killian's talking about. That just causing a nuisance. The ball breaks, Smith gets it, flash it across goal, chance for St Johnstone.
And I suppose he laid down a marker quite early in the game, didn't he? A couple of times when the ball was played up, he held it up, he held off the central defenders, and it just gives them something else to think about.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's the central defenders at the beginning, if they're thinking, right, every time the ball comes up, I'm going to have it nice and easy. I can pick out where I'm going to place my header, where I'm going to lay it off. But it gives them something to think about when they know they've got a striker that's going to be pressing them on every ball, even balls up the side down the channels where Scales is having to just hook them out for throw-ins. Instead, he's not giving up on those and pressing them, and Scales just turns back and plays it into Carter Vickers or back to Joe Hart. Jay Esame, he's up there, he's pressing them, they're knocking it out for a throw-in. And then I think from their goal, from the corner, it comes from them having a throw-in up in the final third to throw it in, end up getting a corner from it and then score from it. So I think he is doing a lot of work that because they're winning and they've scored from it, he is getting the praise for it. But even if they hadn't scored, he is doing a lot of kind of work that wouldn't get appreciated.
Yeah, I think as well, you flip it around to Kyogo on the other side. You know, you look at his movement, he's made probably 8 or 9 runs in behind, hasn't really got much forward passes, he hasn't really got any chances in the box, and he's actually starting to come deeper and deeper to the game. You know, St Johnstone will be happy with that. On the flip side, Celtic will want Kyogo in that penalty box on the ball, because that's where he's prolific, he's brilliant. So on the flip side for Celtic, they've got to look to try and help Kyogo by getting that type of ball in that kind of sort of 6 yards from the byline, flashing across goal, because that's where he's brilliant. His movement's fantastic, and we haven't seen enough of that from him today.
No, he had the one opportunity in the very first minute, somewhat further out, 15 yards or so out. He's short over then. Are you anticipating Celtic making changes, Killian, at half-time as they look to try to turn this game round?
It doesn't look, just judging off the Celtic subs warming up, it doesn't look like anyone's coming on at half-time. I'd say he'll probably give it to around the 60-minute mark, and you might see a change in possibly Yang or Mikey Johnson is coming on. Mikey Johnson, I think, is coming on. So
right.
Proves what I know.
Well, I mean, there you go. I mean, Mikey clearly was out of the picture. He's been away, hasn't he, Mikey Johnson? He's come back in the last few games, seen a bit more of him. I mean, clearly Callum, a talented boy, and he does have what they would be looking for. It's a case of being given the opportunity to produce it this afternoon, I suppose. Yeah,
definitely. I think as a young lad, he was always that player. You know, I tried to get him to St Johnstone a few times as well. You know, because he has that sort of trickery, he has that, he can go past people, he excites the crowd, and you know, I think again for now, but for me, he has to be now a regular. He's getting to that age where he has to be a regular for Celtic, and he's going to get chances. You know, there's a few injuries, Maeda, Abada, they're all injured, so this is really his time, and he's got to really take the game in the second half. If he comes on, he's got to show the man, he's got to show the Celtic fans I should be starting every week, and it'll be interesting the second half how Celtic go about their business. You know, will it be the same sort of tempo, same style, but they've just got to be that a little bit better in the final third.
Going to be really interesting, actually. This next 45, you feel it's going to be absolutely massive. Celtic, as things stand, 8 points clear. Rangers would have 2 games in hand, the first of those then at home to St Mirren at Ibrox. And you know, Rangers clearly have had their woes this season. They've already lost 3 of the 13 league matches, but if they see Celtic slip up here for the first time, remember it would be a first defeat of the season if St Johnstone can see this through, then maybe that would revive hope for the Ibrox side. There to come later, Rangers against St Mirren, Hibernian against Aberdeen, and remember, highlights of all the weekend's Premiership matches on Sports Scene tonight. The highlights at 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel, and plenty live action in the week ahead. There's 5 Premiership matches. Actually, I was just having a quick look, nothing else down the divisions in terms of the SPFL, but 5 top flight matches. Ross County Motherwell Tuesday, 4 games including Hearts Rangers, Celtic Hibernian, Aberdeen Kilmarnock, St Johnstone St Mirren on Wednesday night. Sports Sound on both nights, and on the Tuesday it's live coverage of the Scotland-England Women's Nations League encounter. We've got 45 minutes left in Perth. It's Dailang Jayasimi who's got his first goal for St Johnstone, scrambled it in just 5 minutes before the interval. Craig Levine's side have the narrow advantage. Can they hold on to it? Can they extend their lead? Or can Celtic come back to life in the second 45 and turn this game around? Stay tuned to us here on Sports Sound, live on BBC Radio Scotland. It is the second half. St Johnstone against Celtic, with our commentary team of Killian Sheridan, Callum Davidson and Thomas Duncan.
Well, our St Johnstone on the verge of a famous victory, not beaten Celtic in the last 27 attempts, so these victories against either of the old firm, but particularly in St Johnstone's case against Celtic, come once in a blue moon, and they've done so much of the hard work in the first half, but still a long way to go. Down in front of us, Mikey Johnston is coming on, and it is Yang, predictably, who's going off. So his fourth appearance of the season. Mikey Johnston came on against Hibs, Lazio and Motherwell, obviously unknown at Guimarães in Portugal, got 3 goals and 5 assists last season, so he's come back in. Brendan Rodgers is reigniting his Celtic career, and can he reignite Celtic in this game and give them the impetus they need? Because Yang certainly struggled down that right hand side in the first half. We are underway. Celtic shooting now from right to left as we sit in the main stand at McDiarmid Park, and McGregor goes forward, gives it to Turnbull, heavy touch, and Kucheravi gets a challenge in, gives it to Smith, back to Kucheravi, who tries to hit it first time, got it caught between his legs, but he recovered and he's moved it up towards Jaisimi, but it's through for Carter Vickers. And Celtic, well, after 14 games last season, they'd scored 48 goals. After 14 this season, just the 35. I say just the 35, but they are not as prolific as they were in last season's treble campaign. And St Johnstone win the ball on the edge of their own box through Carey. Phillips back now to Robinson, who's just going to clear it up the pitch, and there is now a bit of low winter sun in the face of Dimitar Mitov. It's just come down below the stand, and that could be awkward for the Saints defence and goalkeeper in this second half. And Celtic give it away straight to Brown, and then it's infield to McGowan, who clears it. McGregor picks up, and infield to O'Reilly, back to McGregor. Scales. As it stands, Celtic wish to drop points for the second domestic game in a row. Here's Johnston for the first time, drives in from the touchline, gives it back to Carter Vickers, back to Alistair Johnston on the far side, and to Mikey Johnston. And Celtic just trying to get those little short passes going around the St Johnstone box, but nothing doing yet. But then it's out to Johnson, drops the shoulder, he goes by Costello, gets a low cross in, and Robinson was there to block it and clear. Well, that's a little glimpse of what Mikey Johnston can do there.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's hard though, because you've got Kyogo in the box, you know, so Celtic can't just stand crosses up, because they'll never win anything. So they're going to have to be patient, they're going to have to be confident, they're going to have to work the ball into good areas.
O'Reilly to Kyogo on the edge of the box, doesn't take it under his spell though, but it goes back for O'Reilly, who squeezes it back to Johnston. Celtic up on the right hand side, Johnston looking to run into the box, little step over from Mikey Johnston, cross block, then he gets another attempt and he's chipped into the 6-yard area, but Mitov collects. But we've played 2 minutes and Mikey Johnston's already got down the right hand side and put 2 crosses into the box.
Yeah, really good start from Mikey Johnston coming on. Thought he'd done well the other night when he came on against Lazio. Looked to be going at players, driving in, being really positive and aggressive. Yeah, great start from him. I think if Celtic are going to get there and put balls into the box, I think a lot of it needs to be more cutbacks rather than just firing it, like I'm saying, into Kyogo. It's hard for him to get it, especially in the middle of a packed box where there's three defenders around him usually most of the time. So I think a lot of it will be due to trying to cut it back for maybe O'Reilly or Turnbull coming in.
Here's Johnston, he's got it on halfway and he's driven midway through St Johnstone half, gives it outside and the cross is blocked and Carey has it, and then back to Robinson, and Johnston O'Reilly trying to put a bit of pressure on, and then Phillips again just turns away from Turnbull on the edge of his own box wonderfully, and then it's through to Kucheravi, who looks up and he's chipped it for Jaisimi, and he just outstretched right boot, can't collect, but he'll come over to the right hand side ahead of Scales and get it. He's holding it up well, he's moved it infield to Brown, who's on the right hand corner of the box for Sades. He's looking for support, turns back, Jaisimi's there, infield now to Kucheravi, he's going to cross with the left foot to the back post where Costello is, but Alistair Johnston read it and intercepts, and Celtic have the ball back now. But
I think James Brown needs to remember he scored against Rangers a 30-yarder. He was a bit similar position there.
That is his only career goal, to be fair, so he's maybe it was a belter as well. And now here's Kyogo, he's through, clean through on goal. It's Kyogo Furuhashi, he's brought down by Gordon. Mitov collects, and the flag was up against Kyogo, because if it wasn't, that was a penalty.
Yeah, I think Kyogo, as he's running up, I think he knew he was offside. He's kind of stuttered and then thought, I'll continue, there's a chance, but on first viewing it looked like he was offside.
Yeah, it looked like he was 3 or 4 yards actually when the ball was played. Again, obviously we'll just wait, but I think VAR have already looked at it. Are they still looking at it? It's always difficult to know what's actually happening with VAR sometimes, because St Johnstone don't have these big plasma screens with replays, and
we can try and crane our necks next to our, see what our television colleagues are seeing, but we can't really from here. So Don Robertson is still putting on, but word is reaching us that it was clearly offside. So and the guys called that in real time.
That's just the danger though. St Johnstone, obviously the more they get involved in the game, they'll open up that space for Kyogo to run behind, because if he gets that timing right, he's electric. You know, his movement's great, he'll get in behind. So St Johnstone's just got to be really careful.
Oh, and there's a slip, and it's gone to Carey from Hart, and Carey slips, but he's on the left hand side, he's regathered, he's gone round Johnson, he tries to slide in for the cross, it's deflected, and Carter Vickers just forces it away, out for a throw-in on the far side. But
Poor play, it's a poor pass from Hart there. Pitch looks a wee bit slippy on that far side. There's a few boys, it's where you said it was a little bit frosty earlier on.
Here's Costello cross in, Carter Vickers unconvincing, Carey with a strike into the side netting. Hart let it go by, he put his hands up, he was comfortable to let it go past the post, but that wasn't great from Carter Vickers.
Yeah, I don't think Graham was actually expecting the ball. I think the ball has just arrived at his feet and he went, oh, because he's normally better than that from that area.
Yeah, I think he'll have expected to get a better connection on it, knowing how good of a left foot he has.
And again, Smith gets up to Taylor and closes down really well. Craig Levine and Brendan Rodgers out in their technical areas. And here's Liam Scales for Celtic, who trail St Johnstone by a 1-0. They've played 51 minutes at McDiarmid Park. Here's Carter Vickers. Right footed pass to Johnston, then on to Mikey Johnston on the right wing. Again, he's going to run at Costello. Few step overs, cross. St Johnstone head helps it on, and it's spun out to the far side, near side where Palma will collect. Right foot along the deck to McGregor. Edge of the box, goes for the strike at goal, but it sails high and wide and into the stands from the Celtic captain.
Yeah, I don't think he was quite set there, his body shape. I think he was looking to cross it, and it sort of opened up for him, and he's just taken a snapshot. But again, Mikey Johnson, I think Costello's more, if I know more correctly, I think he's more of a winger. So it's an area where defensively probably not quite strong, he's better going forward. So again, it might be an area for Celtic to exploit.
But that's the difference. Yang wasn't really testing him that much in the first half, whereas Johnston is testing him at every single opportunity.
Yeah, it's good winger play. It's what you want from your wingers.
And here's a ball forward which Kyogo will collect. He's on the left hand side again. He's just touch it around Gordon, who shells it out for a throw in. Only option he had, the St Johnstone captain. And Taylor throw in to McGregor. Taylor on the touchline, infield again to McGregor. He'll go back to Carter Vickers. Celtic, well, their lead is going to stay at 8 points, with Rangers with 2 games in hand, one of which to come live on Sports Sound against St Mirren at 3 o'clock. St Johnstone win the ball back, Kucheravi goes down, nothing doing from the referee. Taylor to Alistair Johnston, out to Mikey Johnston. Again, he's going to run at Costello, gives it to Alistair Johnston, who's going to cross it in towards Kyogo. It's over Kyogo to Palma, who's left hand side of the box. He's going to chip it into the edge of the 6-yard area, and St Johnstone head it behind for a corner. Celtic cranking up the pressure.
Kyogo has started to make a lot more runs, a lot more frequently. He's making runs when Celtic have the ball deeper. He seems to have wanted to start a lot sharper.
Well, he had 10 goals at this stage in the Premiership last season, 6 so far this season. And the corner comes in from Palma, and the header from O'Reilly blocked, and then Phillips with an acrobatic clearance over his head, only as far as McGregor, and then helps it to O'Reilly, out to Mikey Johnston, and chips it in, but Carey was there, reads it. Palma comes in, and it's nipped in for O'Reilly, crosses in, and it was going to reach Kyogo if it wasn't for Luke Robinson's interception. And Celtic pinning St Johnstone back now, and their fans behind the goal are
Much better from Celtic. I think Brendan wanted this reaction. They've got a really good reaction. They're playing the ball quickly. They're trying to get in behind. They're taking people on. They're asking questions. St Johnstone, there's a couple of balls now. Just a fraction. It could have been a tap in for Kyogo there. His movement was great. But again, much better from Celtic.
Here's Johnston to Alistair Johnston. Both of them playing down the right hand side. Infield to McGregor on the left foot. And he slipped in behind for Kyogo. Saved by Mitov. Brilliant stop by the Saints keeper, and now Phillips has it for the home side, and he's trying to twist and turn away from McGregor. Celtic win it back. Best chance of the game for Celtic.
Yeah, great play, great run from Kyogo, great pass from McGregor, and a great save from Mitov.
He was in behind Kyogo, as he loves to do, but Mitov was quickly off and just flung himself at it. Saved with the body. Ball for Johnston on the right hand side. He gets to the byline, fists it into the near post, doesn't reach O'Reilly again. Robinson anticipated it well.
It's hard crossing from. He's in a great area. The ball he's played is wrong for me, because he's either got to chip it or he's got to cut it back. He's just played it right across the face, and it's easy for St Johnstone defenders to deal with.
Here comes Callum McGregor midway through the St Johnstone half. Celtic have lifted the tempo. We've played nearly 10 in the second half.
Really important St Johnstone don't keep dropping. It's very, don't get me wrong, I've been there myself. As manager, as a player, very difficult. Don't drop and try and stay as high and be as brave as possible, because the deeper you get, the more control you'll get the game, and the more entries they'll get into your penalty box.
Celtic, well, would have been looking to increase their lead before Rangers game at 3 o'clock, and as it stands, it's going to stay at 8 down the right hand side, and Johnston was always stretching to get to that, and he got a right boot on it, but it flew behind.
Good wide player. His movement was really good. He just came sort of spinning behind. Good ball by Callum McGregor, I think it was, and again a better ball. Kyogo's in that position we talked about. Where he wants his service. He's right in the middle of goals, and if he got a better ball across, I think Kyogo might have just tapped it in as well.
Kyogo come to life in the second half. I think a lot's been made of his role this season. Maybe slightly different, and
you'd expect him to score that though, wouldn't you, Killian? You expect Kyogo to score that chance. That was a brilliant chance, a great ball, and you expect him just to normally just dinks it over the goalie or just puts it past him.
Yeah, Mitov credit to Mitov. He was right on top of him as soon as he got his shot off. I kind of thought he was going to take a touch. Thought Kyogo was going to take a touch, and maybe to the side, put the keeper off a bit, but great save from Mitov.
Scales left-footed past the palm on the touchline. He's run away from James Brown, but he's got loads of blue shirts in front of him. He's come infield, gives it to Kyogo, tried to lay it off to O'Reilly, but the Danish midfielder had already run beyond. Tackle goes in from Johnston. It's a free kick to St Johnstone. Costello goes down, and that'll just...
That's another one where Palmer's come inside. He's a great touch inside. I think it's Taylor again. He's in a brilliant position just to reverse the pass, as you normally see from Celtic. He does that, all of a sudden he's in St Johnstone's penalty box, then it's danger. And I think that's just the thing Palmer's going to have to get better. He's going to play regularly for Celtic, because he has got talent. He's got to learn how they're playing. He's got to play the Celtic way, because that's how they get chances, and that's how Kyogo scores, that's how Turnbull scores, from those little balls that Taylor were playing behind.
Long from Mitov. Scales wins the header. It's only as far as Smith, but then he's under pressure from Palma and Turnbull, and only runs it out for a throw-in. Celtic have certainly upped the pace, but they still trail St Johnstone by a goal to nil. Delang Jayeseme's goal, scrappy goal, but crucial goal 5 minutes before the break. That's the difference. It's Mikey Johnson on the far side. Again, he gets past his man initially, but good recovery from Robinson. And then it's back to McGregor. Infield to Taylor. Left foot switch for Palmer. Can he fetch that? He can. It takes a bounce out for a Saints goal kick.
Do you think that's there, Killian? That's Mikey Johnson just skipped past the defender brilliantly. He's great to put the ball in the box. Do you think that's because he knows Kyogo's in the middle? He's not putting it there for him.
Yeah, it was a weird one. He had him beaten, done brilliantly, and then you're expecting the ball just to flash across. And yeah, maybe that's come into his head. But I think he's just got to keep doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
Celtic make their second change. Hyun-Gyu is on for David Turnbull.
Probably a slight change of formation. I think Kyogo might just go in behind. He might play that role that Turnbull was playing. Riley might just play so slightly deeper, but it might cause a few more problems. Obviously St Johnstone set up a certain way to play against Celtic. So this might just cause him a few more problems.
I think it gives another option for Johnson now. You can see how he's started. He's getting balls into the box. It gives him something else to aim for.
And immediately is onto a channel ball into the box, and he's held off Liam Gordon. He's still going, but a good challenge from Ryan McGowan. Strong foot in to stop him in his tracks on the corner of the 6-yard box. But immediately you can see what a more physical presence brings there for Celtic.
Yeah, I always used to hate when Giakoumakis used to come on against us, because obviously if you are defending deep, it's Kyogo, obviously his movement's fantastic, don't get it wrong, but Giakoumakis used to add that different dimension, and then when he got in wide areas you thought, need to stop the crosses, really need to stop those crosses.
Here Scales goes forward, gives it to right on the edge of the area, controls it, gives it back to Scales. Checks onto the left foot, gives it to Palma on the left hand side. Taylor again's made the overlapping run. Palma beats Kucheravi, then gives it back to O'Reilly. No space for the shot, and then it's Phillips who comes away with it. Then it's Kucheravi up to Jaisimi, who's got Carter Vickers right on him, and he's won the free kick, the striker. Carter Vickers tried to be aggressive, but he came through, caught Jaisimi's foot, and it's a free kick to Saints.
No more, that's great striker play. They've been under pressure for the last 10 minutes. He's just bought the foul. Carter Vickers is, I don't know why he just doesn't stay in his feet. He's not going to win the ball there, and he's won a precious foul for St Johnstone.
Yeah, no, those kind of times when he can win any soft free, like you're saying, by the foul, will be massive. When St Johnstone are under so much pressure, it just gives them a bit of breathing space. They can get themselves together, and it also kills Celtic momentum.
Well, Saints, it's Carey, I think, was down again in his own box. He was down earlier and got up, and he's obviously taken a throw onto the face because he's rubbing the side of his head. He's back up and he's jogging back, and St Johnstone just what they needed, a little bit of respite after that relentless Celtic pressure. And Ryan McGowan is going to take this free kick from the halfway line, and Don Robertson just making sure everyone's ready. The referee, Celtic, well, we've played an hour and they still trail by 1-0. Free kick forward from McGowan. Gordon goes up, Carter Vickers wins it, and it's forward to O. It's a good header from Carey. And Robinson back to his goalkeeper Mitov. Kyogo's closing it down, and Mitov chips it up to the halfway line. Brown's going to go off against Taylor, and it takes a bounce, goes over both of them, bounces out for a Celtic throw-in. You're listening to Sports Sounds live here on BBC Radio Scotland, across the frequencies, sounds online. More to come. Rangers against St Mirren, commentary from Ibrox at 3, updates from Easter Road, Hibernian against Aberdeen, 2 huge games to round off the Premiership weekend. And here comes Celtic, Johnson down the right, again he's one-on-one with Costello, again he gets a ball and it's over, and it's now with Taylor, left corner of the box, infield to McGregor. He's going to try and shift it onto the right foot, but Phillips, who's been outstanding, closes him down, and then Palma flicks it out to Johnston into O'Reilly, cut back, Kyogo was waiting, got a touch and is blocked behind for a Celtic corner.
Yeah, much better from Celtic. They're actually applying a bit of pressure, balls are coming to the box, they're winning it back again, they're quickly then getting the ball back in the box and asking questions. That's how Gats, sometimes not the first phase, it's always second phase crosses you always worry about.
And they've gone quickly to the corner. Johnston delivers across, Carter Vickers loses out to Gordon, and it's come out the box. Kyogo nods it to O, can he keep it in? He's done brilliantly with a little back heel flick to Kyogo, and then poor pass for, he thought Taylor was stationary, he was on the run, and Kyogo's given it away. And now here's Jaisimi, there's a ball round the corner for Smith, if he can find him he can't. Johnston is back, the full back, and does well to intercept.
That was a fantastic done by young Max there. Max has been patient getting the team, building the strength. He's played a lot, starting to play more games, but a great run of counting. If Jaisimi has seen him on the other side, St Johnstone were just in on goal.
Yeah, I think with Jaisimi's probably lack of game time as well, and he's put in a lot of hard working running today. Might start to just tire a little bit.
Here's Palma again, he doesn't use Taylor, but he's come in field, gives it to Johnston. Alistair Johnson, middle of the pitch, gives it to Callum McGregor, then to Greg Taylor in the left corner of the box. He's got a bit of space to cross if he wants to. He's going to chip it in. It's only far to the back post of Mikey Johnson. He's twisting, turning away from Costello, and he's forced out by the defender of the penalty area. Back for Alistair Johnston, and he's given it to O'Reilly. Tries the cross, Phillips makes the block, another Celtic corner.
It's a good, really exciting game, really enjoying it. It's one of those games at the tempo. It's always good when you go up against the Old Firm, because it gives them, they've got to then start chasing the game, and Celtic are getting good areas. Honestly, if I was Greg Taylor, I would be going nuts at Palma just now. The amount of runs he's made in, clear runs he's made in to get in.
Yeah, Palma loves to come inside every time, and corner comes in and it's bouncing in the box. Carter Vickers is in there, but it falls for Robinson to clear the danger for St Johnstone. It's back with McGregor, who goes all the way back to Joe Hart. Celtic cranking up the pressure. Still the best chance was for Kyogo. McGregor's ball in behind, 1-on-1 with Mitov. The goalkeeper rushed out and blocked. But St Johnstone still holding on to their 1-goal advantage. 63.5 minutes played. Taylor, he's going to go with a switch to the left foot, and he's going to find Johnson here. It's a wonderful pass on the right hand side of the box. He slips as he crosses it, Johnson, and it goes behind, and that's unfortunate from the Celtic winger.
Yeah, that ball should have actually gone played a lot earlier. I think Taylor's had a look. There's been a couple of runs, but it's created that switch of play. Again, Mikey Johnson goes first time. I think it's a tap-in for the striker again.
Yeah, I think St Johnstone need to be careful that they're getting deeper and deeper. They're letting Celtic come on to them and just inviting passes like that and chances like that for a lot of the clearances. That it seems like last ditch, like almost near the end of the game when there's still half an hour to go.
Yeah, that's credit to Celtic, I think, with the pressure they're actually trying to put on them. You know, that they are asking questions. You know, they are trying to force themselves back into this game.
Robinson, Saints for the ball in the Celtic half for the first time in a long time. Robinson infield to Phillips, and turns away again from O'Reilly. Just a wonderful player to watch, Dan Phillips on the ball. When
he first came up in trial, he came up and trained, and it's the one thing you notice, his composure. He wasn't quite fitness when he first came. It's one of those things he'll have to work on, but he's great at just taking the ball. He's not worried. He believes nobody's going to get it off him.
Yeah, he's been excellent, as have so many in blue this afternoon. Here's Palma coming in again. He's looking for the learning behind, and O'Reilly's in there, and the goalkeeper had to deal with it. There was a bit of a miscommunication between him and Robinson, and eventually Mitov kind of got it behind for yet another Celtic corner.
Yeah, I think it's just good play all round. I think Mitov's obviously coming. That's a really hard ball for the defender to deal with. It's in behind it at an angle. O'Reilly's coming in behind, and he just managed to palm it away for a corner.
Palma goes across to the far side to take. Celtic searching for an equaliser. Corner comes in, and it breaks to the edge of the box. Kyogo, he's got McGregor to his left, checks back onto the right foot, then gives a pass to Carter Vickers, back now and over to Palma on the right hand side, and he tries to come in again, and it's read by Kucheravi. Palma gets back ahead of Kucheravi to put his body in front.
Again, O'Reilly's made the run this time. You've got to play him the pass. You've got to get into that area where it's, for me, it's goal scoring opportunities. You know, if you cut inside the defender, you're happy to sit in your shape.
McGregor in the centre circle. I wonder if St Johnstone will think about a couple of changes. Like say Jeffcott, May, Kane on the bench might be able to stretch Celtic a wee bit when they get the ball, but
it's a hard one for the manager because they've been okay.
Yeah.
You know, the Celtic are applying a bit of pressure. They've changed their system. You know, it's just making that call at the right time.
And here comes Johnson in from the right hand side. He's given it to O'Reilly in the box. It's across towards O at the front post. He's tried to backheel across. Mitos had to punch it away, and it's going to come to McGregor on the left foot. Wonderful strike from Callum McGregor, and there is the equaliser from Celtic. And it's the captain who rescues them. He celebrates in front of the fans. St Johnstone's resistance is broken. It's St Johnstone 1, Celtic 1.
It's what we talk about. I don't want to go on sounding like a broken record. O'Reilly gets played into that area. We talk about the goal scoring opportunities. Makes it really hard to defend against. St Johnstone half clear it. You know, I think it's a little lucky, and maybe could do better with his head up. I think it's James Brown. But what a strike, Callum McGregor. What a player he is for Celtic. You know, he's rescued him again. You know, fantastic strike into the far corner.
Yeah, massive difference when you get to cross the ball in 10-15 yards more forward from playing that pass instead of trying to cross it from deeper further out, where it's almost like a lucky ball that you're hoping someone gets on the end of it. O'Reilly's in somewhere where he can pick someone out, gets it to O. O does brilliantly with the back flick, keeps it in, keeps it alive, and then McGregor, great finish, keeps it low, goes through all the bodies.
It's Callum McGregor's first goal of this season. It's his 51st start in a row since that injury sustained last season against Leipzig, and ever present, plays every minute, and he's come up with a big goal.
I think they're actually checking for offside. I'm not sure if it's the ball played through to O from O'Reilly. It looks very, very close. Again, depends what type of lines they draw, but this is one of the things that sometimes you find hard as a manager or player, because you want to celebrate your goal. You want the emotion in the game. You know, Rodgers probably having to think, well, is it a goal? Do I celebrate it?
It is a goal. It's given. Yeah. And, well, whether it was going to be given or not, in the moment, Callum McGregor certainly celebrated it. He went for it. And why not? He's got his team back level.
That way they've got 2 celebrations.
Second one was a bit more muted. That's St Johnstone.
Really important, St Johnstone now. This is the tough period. You know, they've got to show that composure they showed in the first half. You know, try and get back on the ball.
And here's Owen in the centre circle, tries to get away from Costello, but gets a good foot in the St Johnstone defender. And St Johnstone, as Callum says, need to keep their composure because they've done so much right in this game. But you can hear the noises all being made by the Celtic fans now at McDiarmid Park.
It's always difficult when you manage to hear the behind both goals. You know, the noise they make is incredible. You know, and it sometimes feels that you're under pressure and you're actually at home. And it's one thing that Celtic obviously rely on, is the support and that backing.
Here's Mikey Johnston coming in fields. He's coming right into the middle of the pitch, offloads it to Carter Vickers, right for the pass along to Scales, who's going to cross it in. And it's headed away, back to Scales, controls on the chest, gives it to Kyogo, who's dropped very deep. And he checks back, gives it to Taylor, onto McGregor. And he's assessing his options. Callum McGregor, the left foot, out to the right-hand side, and Alistair Johnson, cross into the middle of the 6-yard area. Mitov got something on it to half clear it, and it breaks for St Johnstone. Here's Carey on the edge of his own box, slips it through for Kuchereve, who's going to dink it over for Jaesime, who's onside. He's got Scales though for company, gets away from Scales, but Celtic have numbers back now, but he's managed to offload it to Kucherave on the left hand corner of the box. Costello's inside on the edge of the box. He tries to give it to Carey, who's hit off a Celtic defender and gone down. The home fans want a penalty for that, but I think that would have been a soft one. But
yeah, no, I think he's just ran into them. Great play from Kuchereve at the start. He's played that pass a few times where he doesn't even look. He as soon as the ball's there, he knows Jaesime is going to make that run, and he's just hitting it first time without even lifting his head.
Alistair Johnson, long ball to Kyogo, who gets a strong challenge from Robinson. Got the ball, but he's got a lot of Kyogo as well clattered into him, and the striker's on the deck. The referee stops play. And
I think it's just a clash of bodies, really, just a strong challenge, you know. But I just think I don't think there's any kind of like. I think it's just a clash. They just clash together.
Just a bigger body into a smaller one.
Yeah, he got the foot out and won the ball, and then the two of them were carrying a fair bit of speed and clashed into each other. But it's interesting you mentioned the fans. Obviously, that's why St Mirren, for example, don't give up the two ends anymore, and it's paid dividends for them. But it's the balance for the board of getting the extra money, I suppose. And
it's that of getting an extra player, you know. So
yeah, exactly.
that's the balance you've got to look at, you know. And sometimes, you know, finances dictate a lot. And you know, listen, it's a great atmosphere. Don't get me wrong. I'm not.
Oh, McGregor slipped in by for Palmer quickly. Kyogo! What a save, Mitov!
Oh, what a save!
Incredible stop from the goalkeeper, but the flag, I think, has gone up against Palmer anyway. But what a stop that was from Dimitar Mitov to deny Kyogo from 4 yards out?
Yeah, great save. I think Palmer could have played a better pass across to Kyogo.
Yeah, I think the offside flag has gone up. It's a St Johnstone free kick, so I wouldn't have counted, but
Mitov's been some player for St Johnstone this season. I think, you know, he lost Remy Matthews last year, Xander Clark year before, and I think he's a great addition. He's been absolutely fantastic for St Johnstone, especially early on in the season. He's kept them in games, you know, and there he didn't know that he was offside and produced an unbelievable save.
A couple of changes now for St Johnstone. Jay Turner Cook and Chris Kane are coming off. I think that's Max Kucherave who has made way, and not sure who else is going to be the bit to put up the board. It's Jaesime, the goal scorer, his first St Johnstone goal and just his fourth appearance. Arrived injured, and he certainly showed he can prove a productive signing this season based on this performance.
Yeah, it's great for St Johnstone. You know, he can play wide, he can now play up front. You know, he's got that physical strength, and you know, hopefully the St Johnstone fans will see the best of the DJ in the sort of coming weeks. They've got big games coming up, so really pleasing for St Johnstone to have somebody like that in their team.
Carter Vickers wins the header from long ball, and then Johnson gives it to O, who's latched onto it. Robinson's in front of him. He's midway through the Saints half. He has to go backwards. He's looking for an option. Gives it to McGregor, back to Carter Vickers. 73 minutes on the clock here on Sports Sound. It's St Johnstone 1, Celtic 1. Here's Carter Vickers coming up from the back, gives it to Taylor, middle of the pitch, onto Palma, the left corner of the box, comes in on the right foot, and he's going for the, I don't know what he was doing, trying to whip it to the back post or trying to bend it into the top corner, but he's put it clean over the bar.
Disappointing there. He's trying to score. I think he's trying to score from the edge of the 18-yard box. I think that's when he just got to put it in area, because again, that's how they got their joy. They put the ball in from good area. So a little bit different from both sides. Palma's coming inside all the time. Mikey Johnson's going down the line. Probably got most of their creative side down this half. Killing from you would say their right hand side. First half it was more the left.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's probably down to how good Mikey Johnson has been since he's come on. That anytime they get the ball to him, he's going at them. He's getting a cross in. He's causing danger. And it's almost taken Palma out of the game a little bit.
Here's Alistair Johnson down the line to Mikey Johnson. He's got Robinson in front of him. He goes inside, then outside. He's going to the byline, and the challenge comes in. Corner Celtic. Mikey Johnson made such a difference.
Yeah, definitely. But what you actually know, Celtic, the other Johnson, right back, he's actually holding his position a bit wider this half, which is making Costello come out, and then it's leaving more space for Mikey Johnson to get Robinson or Costello.
Corner from Palma into the edge of the 6-yard area, cleared to the edge by St Johnstone. It's going to drop from McGregor's going to take another left-footed strike, but that one was more ambitious and it was wildly over the crossbar. But yeah, Mikey Johnson, it's interesting because he's obviously out on loan and out the picture really, but then in between that he was capped by the Republic of Ireland. Stephen Kenny called him up and he's been playing games and scored for them as well. I just wonder that might have managed to boost his confidence as well along the way.
Yeah, I think so. From watching a few of his games with Ireland, he looked a completely different player. He looked a player full of confidence. He was coming into games, looked like he does today, and it's kind of like he's brought that form back to Celtic.
Like the Scott McTominay effect with Scotland and Manchester United. Here Celtic got themselves back level, but 75 minutes gone, they want a winner. Johnston's cross blocked, it's fall from McGregor. He's going to strike on the left foot, but it was low and straight at Mitov. But good play from Callum McGregor.
Yeah, great midfield play there. He's recognised the ball's getting cleared. You know, he's on top of it. He's on pace, very hard. I think Turner Cook's come on. He's got to deal with him better there. But another sort of half chance for Celtic.
Mitov sends it long towards Chris Kane, loses out to Scales, drops for O'Reilly, back out to Greg Taylor, who's having a little scan of the pitch. He goes across the defensive line to Carter Vickers, along the turf to Johnston, up to Mikey Johnson.
It's got to say, it's great to see Chris Kane back playing again. You know, he had 18 months out, Killian and myself both been injured a lot. You know, it's hard, it's tough when you're out, and it's great to see him back on the pitch.
Yeah, he's. I think he'll come on and he might give what Jayasimi gave in the first half. I think as good as Jayasimi was, he probably just got tired, he fatigued, and you could see that St Johnstone needed something else up front, even if not to get up and keep the ball, even just to put the Celtic defence under pressure and do what Jayasimi was doing in the first half. Chase lost causes, maybe pick up a throw or a free kick.
Here's O'Reilly on the right hand side of the Saints box, back to Johnston, infield to Mikey Johnson. He's jinked away from one and then slid in to get the pass to O'Reilly, back to Callum McGregor, moves it into the middle where Taylor collects, thinks about the cross, goes with the left foot to Palma, left hand side. He's going to run at Brown, gets the cross in with the left foot, but it's comfortable enough for Mitov. He was looking for O, who was in there. Mitov read it, plucked out the sky.
For having a wee go at Palma, maybe you got to give credit to James Brown. On this side, I think James is one great 1v1 defender. You know, and he's the guy that I used to go to if I thought there's somebody dangerous on the pitch that could go 5 people. I'd always put James in that area. So maybe it's something that James has stopped them going down the line and stopped them playing those passes.
And St Johnstone, how they would dearly love to get themselves back in front, and they have the ball here. Here's Matt Smith, and he's chipped it over to Brown in the box. Scales has come across well and just nodded it away from Brown, and then controls it, and he's going to send it up the line with the left foot. Comes across, McGowan header, and Celtic throw in their own half. And one thing's for sure, you know Celtic can score late goals. They'll go right
don't tell me about it.
Giacomakis here last season, the old Dre Wright and the cramp and all the rest of it. Callum shaking his head. Taylor heads it up and Mikey Johnson nods it to the feet of O'Reilly. First time pass now for Johnson, who's going to open up the stride and cross halfway, and he gives it infield now to Mikey Johnson. A little backheel flick to Kyogo, 25 yards out, then onto O'Reilly, edge of the box. He's going to shoot with the right foot. it's sensational! It's utterly sensational from Matt O'Reilly. He smashes ahead with a weaker foot into the top corner. And it's St Johnstone 1, Celtic 2.
I don't think you're going to see a better goal this season than that. It's got everything. It's
Brilliant.
got pace of attack, quality of pass, layoff. I think that was his right foot he's hit it with.
Yeah, right foot, yeah.
Right foot. Oh my goodness. Right in the top corner.
As good as Meathoff has been today, no chance there. Johnson, brilliant, lovely little flick.
It's a great run by Oho. Everything about that goal, if you dissect the goal, I think you'll see from right back in the Celtics kind of penalty box to the play, it's probably taken 5 or 6 seconds from the two at the back of the net.
Matt O'Reilly's 7th Premiership goal this season. What a big one, and what a beauty it was. Smashed into the top corner. He hadn't actually scored in his last 4 in the league after a sensational start, but my, what a way to get yourself back amongst the goals. And Louis Palma's actually down in front of us on this near side, and there's a delay. I don't know if it's for the injury or probably a check or something, but Celtic's fans are...
I think they're checking how good the goal was rather than for VAR.
Yeah, Mikey Johnson was involved as well with that little back heel flick. It was delicious, and I mean, surely he's going to start on Wednesday night against Hibernian. He's made such a difference.
Yeah, brilliant. He's just the positivity and aggressiveness that he's got us every time he gets the ball. He's creating something. He's dangerous, and even there, it was something different for the second goal there. It wasn't him going out wide and being directed at someone. It was just him getting involved. Brilliant little flick. And yeah, he's probably been the game changer for Celtic, I think.
Yeah, definitely. It's great. You've got Maeda, Abada, you're not here. Then you've got Yang and Palma, and now they're bringing on James Forrest and Mikey Johnson. Not too bad choice of wingers they've got there.
Yeah, James Forrest 10 and 30 in his career against St Johnstone, more than any scored against any other club in his career. And here comes Celtic. O'Reilly for Alistair Johnson. He's up towards the edge of the box. He's going to get it on the right foot. Meathoff saves, and it's inches away from the diving head of Mikey Johnston. And St Johnstone under the cosh seriously now, and Celtic with their tails up. Taylor's cross straight to Gordon, headed away. O'Reilly controls with the left foot, spins, gives it to Kyogo, touches away from Phillips, who gets the tackle in, and then he's in late on Alistair Johnson. Free kick. And St Johnstone, well, you've got to feel sorry for them, everything they've put in, and they've been undone by 2 sensational goals.
It's unlucky Dan not to get booked there. I thought it was a poor tackle from Dan. He gets to that a little when he gets a little bit tired. He starts to leave his foot in. So yeah, I think you're right. I think especially the second goal where the winner, well, not the winner obviously, hopefully.
Hopefully for you.
Well, I'm actually not sure. No, I think that goal there is good enough to win any game. You know, the second one they've scored. It's really important for St Johnstone now make sure they stay composed, make sure they don't go they'll need to chase it to an extent, but just don't leave themselves open.
O'Reilly's going to hit another one. It's straight at the wall. It was low. Free kick. Breaks back for O'Reilly to give to Taylor. Mikey Johnson, who's now popping up on the left hand side. He's got Brown in front of him. He's come backwards, gives it to McGregor. Left foot to Taylor. Taylor's found O'Reilly in the box, helps it on first time, blocked by McGowan, who has to then make a second block as O'Reilly looked to cross it. Celtic corner, 82 played, Saints 1, Celtic 2.
Yeah, really important for St Johnstone just to stay within a goal from getting something out of it, because
we saw Motherwell last week.
Yeah, and St Johnstone's strengths today have been their goal come from a scrappy corner, from throw-in, a long free kick, anything like that. St Johnstone, and they're still in the game.
Mikey Johnson's corner to the near post, flicked on by Taylor. It's in there, back from Scales. Kyogo lashes it over the bar. And that's 2 he's done like that today. Not like him.
Yeah, that's unlike him. The ball's rolled back there on probably 12 yards out with his left foot. Normally he'll just side foot that in the corner. He blasted it over the bar. He's apologising to everybody though. Very polite person there.
Yeah, he's not having the same season as he had last season so far, but I mean, hard to maintain those standards in any case. Ridiculous record last season, 27, and there's St Johnstone try and get themselves up the pitch. They've got a throw in, and just had the attendance of 6,777 here at McDiarmid Park. Will they witness further goals in the final 7 minutes plus whatever stoppage time may occur? St Johnstone want a foul up at the other end, but they're not going to get it, and then it's a ball flow through the box. O's going to chase. Mitov gets there and collects comfortably enough, and
I think Costello's just ran into Carter Vickers, and if I'm honest, it's not a great idea doing that, is it? I think he just felt the brunt of a challenge. You know, just both jumped for the ball and collided, and no malice in it. And I think he's just come off first. It's that little man into the big man again, Killian, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, in stature, he's probably the bigger one, but
Carter Vickers is built stocky, and Celtic are going to make a change, I think, are they? Yeah, looks like Kyogo is going to come off. Kyogo Furuhashi, no goal for him. He applauds the away fans as he goes over, and it's going to be Tomoki Iwata, the midfielder, is going to come on. So Celtic just maybe looking for an element of control in the last, likely, I'd say, 8 minutes when you include whatever's going to be added.
You've got to give Brendan a lot of credit there. You know, I think he's made those positive changes. You know, he's obviously recognised Zhang was struggling, brought Mikey Johnson on, then he's recognised that there's not enough physical presence up the pitch, and he's brought O on. So I think sometimes, as good as Celtic, sometimes you've got to give credit to Brendan today, at the moment anyway, for the changes he's made to get them back into the game.
Yeah, Costello is rather worryingly still down on the ground. He's sitting up now, and he's getting to his feet with the help of the physios. He's gingerly walking off on the far side. Celtic back on course to go 11 points clear ahead of Rangers' game at Ibrox against St Mirren. We'll bring you live commentary from that from 3 o'clock, as well as updates from Easter Road with Hibernian hosting Aberdeen. Another huge game. Aberdeen looking to get themselves up the league, and Hibernian meanwhile looking to build on that win at Dens. And Taylor plays it up the line to Johnston. Mickey Johnston, he's come over and playing down the left now, at least for the time being.
I actually quite enjoy it. I've seen him on the left a lot. It's good to see him on the right, because you can actually see he can go both ways. You know, he's just not that right foot on the left hand side.
Here's Forrest, infield to O'Reilly. He's on the edge of the box from the spot where he smashed in his goal, but he turns away and gives it back to Iwata. And Taylor, cross headed away by Gordon, and Carey miscontrols it in the box on the stretch, but Costello bails him out, nips in with a challenge, and then Johnston goes across to tackle, and it's St Johnstone's on the far side, but then Costello he's holding his left arm, and I think he's clearly taking a sore one. I wonder if he's going to be replaced. Stevie May is about to come on, and it is Costello who's going to go off. He's clearly hurt his arm or something, taking a stinger, and Stevie May is on the pitch.
Yeah, like Callum was saying there with Mikey Johnson on the right, it's something you don't see that much now, wingers playing on the side of their stronger foot. As attackers, strikers, I always preferred when you've got a winger that you know they're just going to go to the end and try beat their man and cross it, rather than cut in, and then it's harder to time your runs on crosses into the box.
Yeah, it's kind of system and like a phase that people go through, isn't it? Playing the opposite foot, you know, playing the opposite side, and you're right, as wingers, it's as soon as you know where the ball goes, it's great for the striker, isn't it? You know he's going to take a touch, he's going to knock it down the line, he's just going to whip it in.
Here's Callum McGregor, left edge of the box, working space for the cross, goes backwards. Greg Taylor, he dummies, goes back, gives it to Callum McGregor. Celtic just keeping the ball.
It's hard for St Johnstone. They're just looking a wee bit leggy just now. You know, I think it's whether it's confidence Celtic, they're just looking a wee bit tired. The sharpness has just gone out of them. You know, and it's hard when you chase the game. First half was really good. Second half, they probably chased the game most of the time. It's been Celtic on the front foot, asking questions, and really difficult. At this present moment in time, you can't really see a way back in to the game for St Johnstone. They're going to have to rely on Stevie May or Chris Kane, somebody fresh, somebody coming on to make the difference for them.
Yeah, it's a bit deflating because they were on course to go above Aberdeen in level with Motherwell and Ross County on 14 points, but as it stands, they're staying in 11th. Mikey Johnston's corner into the 6-yard box. Scales gets something on that, and it's gone to the back post. O'Reilly collects, gives it to McGregor. He's just inside the area, then helps it back to Forrest, who curls one with the right foot beyond Mitov's left-hand post.
Brilliant touch by O'Reilly. What a player, what a find he's been, for Celtic. The quality he's got, the movement, the intelligence. It's a fantastic touch, and that touch sets up the chance for Forrest.
Yeah, great composure, just always so calm on the ball. No matter where he is on the pitch, in the box like that, he's, like you say, great touch, and then he has the calmness to pick out James Forrest.
He got his international debut for Denmark recently as well, and Carter Vickers was fouled, says Don Robertson, the referee.
St Johnstone got the two strikers. They've got Stevie May and Chris Kane, so I think it's really important now they go a bit more direct. I know we're talking about the composure, they've got to go a bit more direct, maybe try and leave two of them up, try and just ask a few questions. It looks like it's the way they're going to get back into the game. They're not going to pass it through Celtic to get a chance. They're going to have to play forward quite early.
We've just about played 89 minutes at McDiarmid Park. Celtic have come from behind to lead St Johnstone by 2-1. Scales is caught late by Chris Kane, and Celtic will take that free kick midway through their own half. St Johnstone just getting a little bit frustrated, and
a little bit frustrated as a manager there. I think get the game going. You need to get back in the game. He just fouled them. It's, as I'll say, Killian, it's a lazy striker foul, isn't it, Killian? It's one of those. I'm not going to chase you another 30 yards back, so I'm just going to run into you.
Yeah, I wouldn't know anything about that.
And here's Scales at the back, rolls it to Carter Vickers, on to Alistair Johnston, who's been more prominent in this second half as well. Gives it on to Forrest, who puts the head down, runs in field, gives it to O, gives it back to Forrest, then on to Taylor. Celtic with a bit of a spring in their step, gives it to Mikey Johnston now on the left hand side. He's running at Brown, he's coming in field, he looks up, he's going to go for a goal, but it's over the bar. Remains St Johnstone 1, Celtic 2.
I'm going to see it again.
No one wants to give it to Taylor.
Can Taylor not cross the ball? I'm sure Taylor's a really good crosser of the ball, because that's again another one, and Johnston's just ignored them again.
Yeah,
I'm sticking to the fullbacks union here. Well, give me the ball.
Well, he's another one who's started every game for Celtic this season, Greg Taylor, and you can see him there. He's huffing and puffing, he's shaking his head because he's made run after run after run after run and barely got the ball down when he's made.
I like to see the stats. How many times he's actually got into the penalty box without touching the ball?
Yeah, 5 minutes of added time for St Johnstone to find an equaliser, and they've got a free kick here. Scales all over the back of Chris Kane. And
this is exactly, I think, what St Johnstone are hoping for now at this stage in the game. They've managed to keep themselves within touching distance, and this is probably what they've been waiting for. So you can almost guarantee, I don't want to curse them, but you're going to guarantee a good delivery into the box here from Graham Carey.
Celtic got a really high line. They're actually holding it really high, really brave of them. Any kind of timing.
And the ball comes in from Carey. Carter Vickers gets the head on it. It almost drops for Smith on the edge, but O'Reilly gets a toe on it, and it's away. Robinson picks up. He tries to squeeze it down the line. I just think he's got to put the ball back in the box. There's 5-6 of them.
You can see them all in the box with their hands in the air, just saying, just put it in.
That's what Gordon was screaming.
They've not really moved either. They're still there.
And they've gone back to Mitov from that throw-in. We've played a minute of the 5 added. Celtic leading by 2-1. Mitov goes long.
Fantastic from Celtic, the other back line. They've squeezed the game so quickly, and it's actually forced the St Johnstone players to come back onside.
And here's Iwata, helps it on to O, but Robinson gets in to nod it back to Mitov. He's just going to put his foot through it.
Oh, what a lovely zing that was.
That was absolutely magnificent, with a little whip swerve on it out to Carey, who collects, tried to switch, but Forrest was in the way, and then he's tried to nod it back to Alistair Johnston, who's just kept that in. In fact, he's not kept it in, so that's loose from James Forrest. And then St Johnstone go quickly down the line to Chris Kane. He checks back, Johnston gets back, Kane goes infield to Dan Phillips. He's about 35 yards out, middle of the pitch, gives it to Carey. This is as good as St Johnstone have had it in the Celtic half for a while. We're in stoppage time. Brown on the right wing gives it to Carey, and then O'Reilly gets off, and Carey goes beyond him, and he's got space in front of him now, and he's going to chip it to the left corner of the box. Robinson is there, and it's going down the line. Robinson gets the ball, he's put the cross in, no one claims it, it's gone to the back post, and Hart makes the save, and it's beyond James Brown. My word, ball still alive for St Johnstone. McGowan helps it in. Carter Vickers with the header. Forrest hooks it clear on the edge of the box. Oh, that was the chance, and now O holds it up. Can he flick it round the corner to Forrest? Forrest was in if he could, and then it's touched away by Iwata, who's striding through on goal. He's up to the edge of the box. He's got Forrest in the box, controls it with the right foot, and James Forrest scores and wraps up the victory for Celtic. just seconds after Saints had a golden chance to level, and Celtic counter up the pitch, and James Forrest strikes once again against St Johnstone. It's game over for brave Saints. It's St Johnstone 1, Celtic 3.
Yeah, James Forrest away celebrating, but all the Celtic players are back congratulating Joe Hart. What a save.
It's an incredible save. You know, I think he's headed it down. I think young lad Turner Cook's great header down in the ground. Joe Hart's made up for his slight error for the first goal, and then Celtic on the counter-attack. You know, James Forrest, you know, hope he doesn't play against St Johnstone again, Again, great counter-attacking goal from Celtic. Broke with pace. You know, it's one of those games, it's one of those things. Very hard to score line St Johnstone. 3-1 to Celtic.
What a game we've had. Sorry, Killian, on you go.
Now again, it's Celtic subs. Iwata breaks brilliantly, lays it on a plate for James Forrest, and I think that's been the difference today. The Celtic subs come on, all of them have made an impact, changed the game.
And on we go. The goal was being checked, and Celtic are heading 11 points clear. We'll see how long that lasts, with Rangers in action at 3 o'clock at home to St Mirren. St Johnstone come forward through Brown, blocked. McGregor, Scales sends it long. Gets in, tries to chest it to Mikey Johnson, but it goes out for a throw-in. He's been pretty bright since he came on as well.
O's been very good. He's given them something else.
He's added a dimension to the game, haven't he? He's just given that physical. Liam Gordon, Ryan McGowan found it quite not easy, but obviously the movement's totally different. It's that physical presence that they've struggled with.
And now here's Mikey Johnson breaking for Celtic. Liam Gordon's come across to meet him on the halfway line, and he's going to try and switch it because Celtic have got numbers forward. Forrest controls it in the middle of the pitch. Stevie May gets back, but Forrest controls, gives it to Alistair Johnson. He's going to cross it into the middle of the penalty area. O'Reilly gets a left foot on it as he dived in the air, and it's just floated by the post. Well, 4-1 would have been really harsh, you feel, on St Johnstone.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's that they're chasing the game now. You know, St Johnstone players look out on their feet. They're giving so much for the team today, you know, and hoping they're going to hold out, and they've just gotten done by a little bit of class from Celtic this afternoon.
And there's the full-time whistle. Well, Celtic were made to work, they were made to sweat in the first half by St Johnstone, who were terrific, and the players, Stan Phillips crouches down, as does Ryan McGowan. They're out on their feet, they're devastated because they gave everything for their fans, for their manager, for each other, and they got themselves in front against the odds in the first half. They caused havoc from a corner in the 6-yard box, and Dialang Jayesime forced it home from a yard or so out, and Celtic at that point looked unconvincing. They looked slow and pedestrian at times after a bright enough start, but in the second half they turned it around. They made the substitutions. Mikey Johnson in particular made a huge impact down the right. Callum McGregor got them level, and it bounced to him just inside the penalty area. He smashed it with a left foot low into the far corner beyond Mitov, and then the goal that nudged them in front was just a thing of beauty. Everything about it, the move from the back, the passing, the movement, the dribbling. It fell eventually after flicks to Johnson and Kyogo to O'Reilly on the edge of the box, and he smashed it with his weaker right foot into the top corner. It was a thing of beauty, a thing to behold. And then a St Johnstone push. We could have had a dramatic leveller at the death. Back post, and Joe Hart had to make a huge save to claw it off the line. Celtic went up the other end, and James Forrest scored his 11th career goal against St Johnstone to round it off. And it all means that Celtic do move 11 points clear. They've got 2 games in hand on Rangers, who play with St Mirren later this afternoon. They're taking the acclaim of their fans now, Celtic, and Saints troop down the tunnel now with back-to-back defeats. It's finished here at McDiarmid Park. St Johnstone 1, Celtic 3.